Morning, everyone. Running a little bit late here today. Apologies all. Hopefully you can hear me nice and clear. I'm going to run through the charts really quickly so we're prepared because we've got a little less time today. Having to juggle looking after my dog and everything. So, again, just like the last 2 weeks, Friday, gap down, trend up. Friday, gap down, trend up. Friday close, gap down, trending up. You notice the pattern. It's the same thing. Shorts keep trying to force themselves into this market at the lows, and the market is just not ready yet to roll over. So what are we doing? We're currently trading back towards the open of Friday in that session, and we've been trend up overnight. So let's just move into the hourly chart. We can talk about this giant range that we remain in. All right, I haven't changed any of these levels from last week. So if you've been following these levels, these are exactly the same. So Sunday's gap down, where do we come into? This demand block. All right, we found a W pattern here, pull back, go, retest. We know this is strong demand. We've been in it twice. So that gap down on Sunday, shorts forced themselves. All right, they tried to get short in demand, very, very stupid, and got their faces ripped off. All right, you must respect the high time frame structure. So we can still think about this as a giant range. Okay, if we zoom out here, we're in a massive, massive range still. There's your range high. And these are sort of the range lows. And then this range is tightening and this range is tightening. Okay, so big old range in this market. What I'm interested in is if the market tries to set a lower high here this morning. All right, so this high from Friday to this low, we're trading into the golden zone fib. I'm not too keen on getting long up here. All right, and I'd almost rather wait for us to get above, base out here, and then go again for that slingshot back to these highs. Okay, some sort of flag or some sort of inverted head and shoulder, something like that if I'm going to get long. I don't want to chase the market long in this huge imbalance. Remember, we had a kill candle here on Friday. I don't really want to try and get long into that. So very aware of that. If we're going to start failing, okay, if we're going to start failing, I'm thinking about these key levels. All right, are we going to get stuck underneath here and rotate to here? If we then flip this into supply, we go leg down. All right, we just keep doing the same things we've been talking about constantly on this channel. Right, we go leg down into next area. But really, if we're going to do that, I'll think about a 2-day pullback if we're going to do that, which would be nice. Monday, Tuesday pullback. But really, we're just in this range. All right, so I'm not thinking about longs in this gap here. All right, I'm thinking about if it's short, does it short into here, counter trend? If it absorbs there, do we go back up? Otherwise, do we go leg down, go back up? If we fail this, do we go leg down, go back up? All right, lots of stuff on play here because we remain in the range, unfortunately. It's just how it is. If we hold this and find a bid, then maybe we're going to go trend up into supply. If we build some liquidity and structure out here, again, I think we can slingshot up higher. But I'm going to respect these levels that we failed from on Friday. These are going to be key. You can see this wick here. You can think about the fib from Friday highs to Sunday market lows. Looking into the 5-minute here quickly, let's just clean this up a little bit. You can see we're doing the dance between the 5-day and the 20-day. We know the market loves to build higher time frame liquidity here. So we're sitting at the mean average right now. Right, Bollinger Bands are way, way extended both sides. So we've got room to run up to them. Market gap down like we talked about. Asia traded sideways. There's my marker. There we go. Asia traded sideways. Push up, London tries to hold Asia high. Push up, soak, and we're trying to bid higher. So clear trend up here overnight. Don't be surprised if it needs to take this liquidity before thinking about the next thing. Doesn't have to, but don't be surprised if it needs to do that. Let's just quickly go through everything else. Let's have a look at the VIX. VIX into 16s here, so still low teens, but starting to try and build some structure to move higher. And have a very, very quick look at the MAG. Apple trying to gap up after that big flush out on Friday. Looks like the MAG's all the same. Microsoft doing the same. Amazon holding inside range, still holding trend. Google does the same. Gap up versus Friday's close. Remember, Friday was very, very weak into close on the MAG 7. Microsoft exactly the same. Nvidia stuck at its 20-day. All right, Nvidia drove up this morning, tagged the 20-day. Getting flushed on. It has got a gap to fill higher Nvidia if it wants to go, and Tesla remains absolutely disgustingly weak. That thing just cannot get going on Tesla. Very, very, very weak. Looks like it's ready to break down soon. A completely mixed bag. Same on the ETFs. If you zoom out the ETFs, we're stuck in a range. We're just stuck in Friday's range, right? We're opening up inside Friday on the ETF. So we've got supply overhead, demand underneath, and we're opening probably just over the midpoint, about around the 61%. So we need to be aware of that. Get my flow zones and everything on here. So key levels I'm going to be watching this morning. I don't remember putting this. Oh, it's a normal view. I was going to say I don't remember doing the anchor on that. Holding strong trend then. Looking to see if there's a push and fail for a pullback into deeper demand. Some form of structure down here. And we've got this midpoint in the session, but you can see the market's not enjoying like a push away violently right now. Supply's all the way up here. Any push into the 60s and stuff, we might see a retracement back down to previous day point of control. If we have an early morning flush, then I'll just be seeing if it's just going to let go and rotate lower first. Here's the open. So I'm not like particularly biased this morning, basically, is what I'm saying. I'm just going to let it open up. Remember, Monday, Tuesday creates the range for the week. I will know more. We have liquidity above some stops into around 800. There is liquidity on the book there. There is some strong liquidity on the book there. So it might want to go and take those stops out, and then we can see if and how it acts. Apple opening up 1.2% up, Microsoft 1% up, Amazon 1/3% up, Google 0.75% up, Meta 0.25% up, Nvidia 0.5% up, and Tesla 1.5% down. Treasuries all opening between 1/3 and 2/3% down. And we'll just let this shake out here. Good morning, everyone. Let's get through the chat quickly. Good morning, Jeff, Miguel, Exister, Gary, Jay Mooney, Marek, Coop, TR, Thumper, Peter, Ryan, Noah, Trentries, Ramos, BU, Leron, Steve, Chris, Vince, Mindful Matters, Cat, Minix, Christy, Crawford, and Myron. Good morning. Indicator, good morning. Jesse, good morning. Cat, good 21 EMA video this weekend. BU called it as well. Ah, lovely. Nice team. Hopefully it's a bit helpful. If you've got the flow zones, those would do the jobs for you, basically. But it's a good way of understanding multi-time frame between the 1 and 5 minute. Morning, Aid. Morning, Ulimar. So just letting this shake out. I'm not expecting a lot today, all right? There's no news scheduled for today. Obviously, we have to be aware of what Donald is doing. There could be a statement anytime. Same from China, same from Europe right now. All right, so that big gap down probably came from a bit of fear in the tariff news. But most eyes this week will be looking on tariff news and CPI on Wednesday. That print, if we have hot inflation with tariff news, it's not good. That's what the market's looking at right now. But there's no setup here that I'm particularly looking for this morning. Until we reach up and fail, or reach up and hold, or dip down and fail, or dip down and hold, I'm certainly not just going to be pushing a button here for now. That dip last night took us all the way down into 426 into demand. We're opening up 320 points higher. Let's just see what we get here. There is a chance for it to set a lower high on the hourly and sort of build in, if it really wants to do a rotation and build in this kind of move down here. If we come down here, if we break this, there's a move lower. That's the one thing I'd say. If we hold this and hold this, we go higher. If we dip down here and do this, then we rotate back up. Nothing confirmed until it really proves itself right now. We are in a giant range, and we've been in a giant range for quite a long time now. Market's just rotating range. The ES looking at fairly weak this morning, back to its 5-day, back to some structure, back to its algos, basically trading all the way down here on the ES already. Lots of glare on my glasses this morning, struggling to see anything. But letting this settle down. Yeah, PPI and jobless, sure, for sure. But I think all eyes will really be on CPI. That'll be the indicator of inflation most are looking for, which will come Wednesday, midweek. So I wouldn't mind a 2-day pullback if we get a cool print and then expecting new highs. Otherwise, who knows? Market's been resilient, though. So one thing we can say is market's been resilient. People wanting to short this market with swings on these sort of Monday opens, Sunday opens have been getting caught every week so far. So a smaller range this morning. You're 4 minutes 20 in, so you can think about that 5-minute opening range break. There's something that you're looking at. There's a play that you're looking at for that break. Remember, you should really be thinking about where liquidity is. Does your opening range break have some liquidity to aim for? The book fairly stacked this morning. All right, not huge orders, but fairly stacked. I mean, got buyers 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, and like every 5-point increments in the upside, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, then a bit of a gap up to 800. So lots of people trying to get filled this morning. I'm just going to let those imbalances sort of get filled and wait to see what this market wants to do. So I didn't even get down to the London high then. Looking to see if we trade down into sort of 32. Not down there yet. Really not fussed about taking a trade here this morning. There's nothing I really, really desperately want to trade. I'm watching that H1 imbalance from that kill candle that we put on Friday, that 10 a.m. candle. Do we find a lower high in there for a rotation, or do we reclaim the whole thing, get up towards sort of mid 800s and start to base? I'll be much more bullish if we do that. Did you all have a good weekend? There'd be some people very upset in here, from what I understand, from our chat on Friday about the Super Bowl. I was a happy man. Very, very happy man. I don't know if they didn't show up, but Eagles put in a hell of a performance there on Friday. Incredible. Incredible. No three-peat. And that's gone. And I'm super happy for Barkley after the way he was treated in New York. I think that's a great tale to back yourself. Surround yourself by people that value you. Good things can happen. That's in any job or any walk of life. It's a good message there. Most of the chat I've seen this morning has been about the halftime show. People saying they thought it was the worst halftime show ever. It definitely wasn't. I think as an artist, I can actually really, really appreciate no gimmicks in there. Some pretty strong messaging on what he felt, which is sort of what art's for, as much as it upsets people. So definitely wasn't the worst performance, I'd say. I'd say last year was pretty rubbish. My favourite performance ever, by far, obviously living in Los Angeles, was when we played at the SoFi and we brought out Dre and Snoop and 50 Exhibit. You can't beat that. No one will ever beat that for me. That's just personal opinion. Each to their own. That's what I felt like, Coop. I felt exactly the same. So you can see no real direction from the market. All right, like we've been sat here at the open talking like we've been in for an hour because it's not really doing much. The S&P, however, is breaking down. All right, the S&P is making a run back to its VWAP, much weaker on the day. Tech holding up pretty good here. All right, so Tesla now 2.6% down, Nvidia 2.7% up. It's holding 130. That's very, very strong. Meta 0.5% up, Google 0.5% up. Amazon 0.5% up, Microsoft 0.75% up, Apple 0.75% or up. Yeah, it still is. And here goes S&P. So S&P tagging the VWAP, ES tagging VWAP right here. Cash is already beneath the VWAP, but the ES tagging the VWAP right there, seeing if it can find some bidders. So much weaker on the other indexes this morning. So tech holding everything up clearly. have a little look, see on that one, on this. Look across the board here, not updated yet, might take a couple minutes. Still liquidity up at 800. All right, we can look at this level right here, where this broke down from and pulled back. We went for that retest on Friday, and there are stops here, short stops are here. Okay, so that's what the market, that's what NQ is trying to sort of nudge itself towards right now, is to come and clear out those stops. I'm sort of waiting for those to be cleared out before I think about anything else. Range isn't too bad when you consider these lows. It's still not bad. Here's the drive up. So it looks like it wants to go for that 800. I think liquidity, I've got it marked out around 803. Little bounce there off VWAP on the ES. The ES definitely in a lower time frame sell cycle here. Still no setup for me. It's going to be hard if NQ doesn't go and take out 800 and it sets a lower high in before that. It's going to be tricky. Remember, it's got the chance basically to set a lower high in anywhere in here on the H1. So any drive up like this will open the gate for rotation back down. If it doesn't take this out, it's going to be hard because I know lots of stops here. It's the last week or so, I'd say NQ's done that quite a lot of times where it's driven up. We saw it last week, leave stops, came all the way down. I don't remember what day it was, Wednesday or Thursday, and then went all the way back up for them at the end of the day. Always tricky when it does that. ES back to VWAP again here. Yeah, well, you're right, Miguel. He said yesterday he's going to do, yesterday before open, I think he said he's going to he's going to put 10%, I think he said, was on aluminium and steel. There's also talks of more tariffs on Europe. So still boxed in here. Right, we are still boxed in here. ES still weak. Trading to its VWAP. Let's put in this New York Open before I forget as well. Back to New York Open here. Slow day, very slow day. Expected on the Monday. 25%, really? I didn't see that. I thought it was 10%. So market trying to drift into that sort of H1 imbalance where we had that big kill candle 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. last Friday. ES trying to find a bid off these levels. VIX trying to move up into Friday's high, all right? It's pushing up towards Friday's high. Capped, I'd say that's the same in most countries right now, my friend. Definitely how the Middle East feels. I had some chats with some friends over there this weekend. Definitely how a lot of Europe's starting to feel. You're going to get a big separation, much like you have in America. You know, I don't think you've ever seen a stronger divide than you are recently between blue and red, so to speak, and strong opinions, not sort of middle stance, and that causes some issues. Here you go. So it's going to look for that clear out. This is what it's looking for. Looking for that clear out of those 800s, of the liquidity up there. How we act once we clear these guys out is important. I mean, just thought I'd marked these in. Let's just put these in again. This level here. This is where these stops are. So very, very close, this level. If we take these guys out and then we fail, There's a good chance of a deeper rotation. If we take these guys out and we put a squeeze on, then there is a chance to just continue to move up into these areas here, all the way up into 900s. I'd say the edge of that breakdown, we can sort of think about, was that open? Into like 840s. It starts to get a bit thicker into 840s. Just waiting to see how we act here. ES trying to find some bids. Still early in the session. 15 minutes until we get that new H4 and H1 candle, which will be key. Yeah, did you watch that film, Jay Mooney? Civil War. Scary film. I hope nothing like that happens. I was talking to a friend of mine about it last night, and we were saying, we are lucky in that, you know, if things for some reason went tits up here, not that I think it necessarily will do that, tapping into that liquidity now, at least we have European passports and we can leave. You know, some people won't have that choice. What you don't want is an occasion where you've really upset people both sides of the border and you're stuck here and not in agreement with your own country. That's got to be tough. Hopefully we never come to anything like that. Hopefully everything's fine. I'm sure cool heads will prevail. All right, so tapping that liquidity, we might have taken it by a tick. Yeah, I know, Aaron. That's what I mean. I feel like the whole world's sort of acting very similar. You're seeing the same in Germany and the same in Italy right now as well. So liquidity is starting to get eaten up here. Can they trade up towards the 820s? Up into here. And if we go through that, we can put on a ripper if it really wants to. If it really wants to put that squeeze on and go back towards those highs, it can. Move this up a bit really, shouldn't I? So you can see it. Still no trades for me. Just being very, very patient this morning. Monday morning, new week. Pretty tired, I'm not going to lie. Pretty tired. At 850, really? I can't. Oh, yeah, you're right. 107 at 850, 109, 22K. A little bit thick into 900. So starting to extend it. I'm going to have to get a tissue here, folks. Bear with me. Starting to seek that liquidity higher then. Rebalancing that H1 level. Driving back up into those Friday levels. So full reclaim shorts getting squeezed out. The same thing that we've seen the last week. The higher we go, the less I like the longs, unless we get up here and build liquidity. That's a whole different scenario. Problem is right now, ES can drive up and set a lower high and look to wash lower. It's been much, much weaker on the day. So if tech starts giving up at some point, got to be very, very careful. We're extended from these flow zones. We've taken out liquidity. We're coming into key levels. Definitely into the golden zone in H1, rebalancing everything. Where was the edge of that breakdown on Friday? I'd argue 26s up into 50s maybe. Not quite there. Look, here's the flush. S&P getting weak here, retesting the VWAP. Do they start to let this go here? I mean, still holding structure well, but if the S&P starts letting go, that NQ can't do all the work for all the markets all day. I'd say if it stays heavy versus 800 here, there is a potential short. Now it's that stolen the liquidity. And if it starts getting stuck in here, there is a potential short back down. Obviously, under New York Open, you get stronger moves lower. Like I'm just watching the S&P here, the ES at VWAP. Really, really key. Yeah, VIX trying to trade up towards previous day high. No huge move in the VIX yet, Adam. Make sure you're zoomed out on that. There's nothing major there. Traded up towards previous day high, finding some selling in there. No huge move in that yet. Small caps, I'm not having any issues. Who's your data provider? Normally, the issue would be with the data provider rather than Ninja. So if you're with Tradeovate or Rhythmic or something like that, that's normally where the issue lies. Bullnox. Do they have their own data stream, though? It's the data provider that you need to watch. I don't know how. I have not used Bullnox before, but I'm assuming they use Rhythmic or Tradeovate as their data provider. But I've had, not that I've traded, but I've had no issues. Like, chart's moving fine, no gaps in the chart. It's up to speed. It's directly correlated with what I'm seeing at TradingView right now. So like I said, if it gets stuck here and the ES starts to fail, there might be a short. If we build this out, it's just so quick, isn't it? There might be a short coming. Feels like it wants to let go and dive deeper now after taking all that liquidity. ES back to VWAP. These are key levels here. If on Rhythmic, sometimes I have to reconnect Rhythmic and Ninja again. Yeah, if it's a Rhythmic thing, it can. I don't use Rhythmic anymore, but that can definitely cause issues. So just check your R trader, I'd say, if you're on Rhythmic. See how that's pulling data. Yes, right back at VWAP. Market just doing a dance. Remember, we've stolen the liquidity. The main thing I said the market probably wants to do today is steal this liquidity. If that's enough and it wants to create a lower high here on H1 in this imbalance kind of zone, remember this is a fib from here to here, we're in golden pocket. If it creates a lower high here and wants to rotate to here and lets that go, we come all the way back down. Otherwise, we can do this or we can just do this all day long. Meta starting to give back a bit here. Nvidia but having a strong day. It's a strong sell here after taking that liquidity. So you can see how key this level up here was that we marked out. Unfortunately, it's just in a range. There was no like big extension and fail. What would have been really nice is something like this and then that. I guess we got it here in a micro pattern and now starting to rotate. ES back to VWAP again. Still not fully letting go of VWAP. Still no trade for me today. Maybe could have forced my way into that short up there, but not exactly sexy price action yet. Let's call it that. Nothing that's really making me want to pull the trigger here. Back towards New York lows, underneath the New York Open right now. Market still, like most of the mags still green, other than Meta and Tesla. So it doesn't feel like a big sell-off day right now. It just feels like rotational plays. Book's starting to clear out a bit here now. So starting to see some more levels on the book. So we've got a seller all the way up at 805. So he's looking for a drive back to 805. Through that, we get room to 850. 922K if we're going to go for all-time highs. And we're holding 750s, 745s bids down there right now. Not too much lower, to be honest. What instrument is on your chart right now? NQ. Yeah, this is the NQ. So ES holding its VWAP. Again, still no trade here for me. Waiting for it to be a bit more directional, not looking to get chopped up. If we keep failing up here, all right, if we keep failing up here, there is a rotational play back down. All right, we can come and sweep out all these overnight guys and come right the way back down. If it squeezes through and holds, then either we fail at the supply levels that we put in Friday, all the way up here. All right, we can think about this level. Either we fail up here for the rotation, or we start building liquidity, and then we go for that giant inverted head and shoulders move for a move back up to the next level into 22K. Right, but what I don't want to do is bid here early, and I'm not too keen on guessing a top here, even though I've got something to risk off. I just want to let it just build out a bit more liquidity. I want to see some confluence on the tape. At the moment, we have flow zones and the deep pullback flat. Where's my VWAP gone? Way down. Okay, that's why I can see it. Yeah, most things kind of flat right now, so just going to let it shake out. What I'm not going to do is get trapped on a Monday morning. Had a very good week, off to a very good start this quarter and this year. Just going to be patient on a Monday. Sorry, Ryan. Thank you. ES finding some bids on VWAP. How ES trades, I would say, into 80s is key, where it last broke down from. ES much, much weaker. VIX trading back inside the range, though. Could not take out previous day high. It's just building chop out and building liquidity out right now. If we're going to get a bigger move, we're going to have to build something here for that wash. If we're going to do that, we can think about all these guys here getting washed out. Otherwise, if we come all the way down and we hold this, we're looking for rotation back up. So these are the key levels. VWAP holds, it can soak. Let's go, then we definitely go lower. They're trying to set a lower high here now. ES cannot drive back up. I said it couldn't even get to 80. Flushed there at 75, getting stuck. But let's go VWAP, it's in problems. Again, still not trading this. Telling you what I'm seeing as I'm seeing it, but just letting it build out here. Nothing clear and obvious. Oh my God, my nose, man. Yeah, I see them, Miguel. But it's not telling me it has to go up there yet. But yeah, they're there on the tape. It's going to have to get bust through 800, 805 first. If it builds liquidity up here, use that to get higher. But again, everything kind of flat in the session right now. It's not that attractive when you think about where we opened. Okay, pivot up, pivot down. Decision point here or here. Not in a hurry. The fact that we took this out and then failed, I'm kind of favoring shorts right now in the market, but there's nothing structure-wise to give me that opportunity yet. But we failed after taking this key level out that we talked about. So if it was a sweep to go lower, it's possible, or a sweep to go in range. But ES finding bids on VWAP. It's trying to grind back up right now. It's starting to get stuck at some key levels. Just got to let this build out. I want everyone else to pay for the information, as Nate would say. I'm not interested in forcing my way into this. No, Miguel, go ahead. Of course you can post those. Absolutely. Doesn't bother me at all, my friend. Does not bother me at all. So the SPY coming up to its VWAP now. All right, so the ETF trading into its VWAP now. QQQ is basing above it. SPY is about to test it. If we see some failure in the market here, it will be because cash buyers are getting stuck and start to rotate to get out. If it starts to reclaim it, the ES is already above it. So we're into the cash right now. We have pre-market highs above us. We have gap fill potential below in all the markets. Yes, SPY finding some sellers there for a moment. And range this morning, we're half an hour in, we have 65-point range, right? Small range. The chop continues. Still no trade. And think about what we might get in a new H1, H4 candle. Be patient in the market. Be a sniper. If your setup is not there, you should not be punching in and punching out. Just wait. Might not come at all today. I think there will be a trade today. I think we're going to get something. We're just going to have to wait and let it build for a little bit longer here, I think. Mag, all green other than Tesla. Tesla starting to try and find some bids here. Still 1.6% down, but gaining 8% back off the lows. Nvidia strong, 3% up. Meta just about holding on. Google 0.7% up. Amazon just under 1% up. Microsoft 0.61% up. Apple 0.68% up. So Mag 7 doing pretty well this morning. Holding on pretty good. Can the market get going? For a very, very small amount of time. Yeah. That was to small caps. But I do like Nate. I like his story. I like how he teaches. I think he's a good dude. I think he's definitely got big guys that he's friends with inside on the big Chinese stocks. I think he knows far too much when they're coming up to flush points in the market, beyond technicals, I would say. But in fairness, he gives them out to people. So if you can understand his lingo when he's telling you, leaning on this, getting ready to lean on this, then you know that he's with size taking the opposite position. Yeah, exactly. But I do like him. I think he's a good dude. He's one of the good dudes. I really like his story as well. I like that he's open about what happened to him in Kodak back in the day when he left his motorbike and went and put money on it and came back and had lost everything. So here's the squeeze up. Whoa, big old squeeze up. New hourly, new H4 candle. Here you go. What a ripper. So going back towards this key level. This is previous day open. I'm going to take this out now. We don't need to think about this. Market seems like it's in a hurry. Well, ES and SPY getting going here. So market now feels like it's in a bit of a hurry here to squeeze up. So watching some of this liquidity up here on the H1. I'm watching this sort of liquidity here, and I'm also thinking about, is this going to be an H1 sweep? What I want to be very careful of is if this is an H1 sweep to then lose positions. Right, so this level and this level here become key on the H1. Into a transition candle, remember, we're into a new H4 candle. SPY now testing that 80 that we just talked about. We're sweeping the New York highs so far into previous day open, this level here. Big daily level, and you can see some selling coming in from it. That 80 is key on the ES, right? That 80 is key. It's where we broke down from this morning. Whoa. So any push that fails here, you need to be careful with that H1, H4 sweep. You need to be very careful if they do an H1, H4 sweep, where if they take out the old H1 high and they start dying. Remember, we are in the golden pocket. It's not a great buying location here. We have some selling participants higher trying to drag the market up. Nothing too big on size until 850 and 900. So back testing where we just broke out from, finding bids. If they can do this, they can squeeze higher. I want to see flow zone start to support. If they get stuck here, remember this will be an H1 sweep. You need to be really, really careful. If they come violently heavy in, that's when you'll know. I'm not looking for a short here yet. There's nothing to say it's a short. All right? We're trending upside right now. Not going to guess the top on this market. Yes, reclaiming that the 680 level. This is where it put in that sort of breakdown area this morning into the open, before the open. So here all the way up to 83.50, I think it is, on the ES becomes key. Nice, Dean. Yeah, those work really nice when we're in good trending markets. The moment this morning, we're in a balance in Friday's range. So really, other than the flash out on Sunday, Monday morning, the rest of the price actions all happened. Everything above 550, remember, is an inside bar. Right, so everything from, where's 550? Here. Right, so this was excess. All of this is still inside Friday, still an inside bar. But shorts feel like they got trapped at those lows. It's been the same thing 3 weeks in a row now. Sunday gap down, shorts get stuck at the lows, squeeze upside, and buyers hold it, fail breakout at the lows. Question is, how high are we going now? Really, really focused on the H1 just to see how we act up here. If we can build something out here this afternoon, come on, let me draw. Build something out here, I can think about upside. If we keep failing in here, then a rotation back to here. What a monster squeeze. Has something been said? That feels like something's been said. Either that or stops getting run out. I don't see any news hit the wire yet. Let's have a little look. Book's just thinned completely out until 850. That feels like something's hit the wire there. So watch your ATR. We're starting to squeeze higher violently now. Here you go. US tariffs. 25% on all Mexican imports highlights trade risk for Mexico. Significantly worse than an agency's baseline assumption. That was like 30 seconds ago. If implemented across the board, 25% US tariffs would have much larger impact, largely causing a recession in Mexico in 2025. So we continue to squeeze higher. Tariff news hitting the wire. Like I said, not looking for a short unless it gives a clear signal, which it's not. We are just still trend up. Now into a key level here, into 850s. This is a level on the H1, as you can see, right here, where we started to break down from. Need to be aware of that. So tapping in there. ES, I think, printed a new high of day there. Yeah, it did. Market just drifting high here. Shorts absolutely cooked this morning again. Do we fail up here at the 850s, or are we then going to continue for previous day highs, red line up here? So if we can start to base out and trend, we can think about that. I want to be very, very careful of failed breakouts here. Inside range. Remember, we're just inside range. Yeah. Lots of selling here. 840, 845, 850, 855 on the tape. And then you have a little bit of room, 75 and 900. Should not be short in this. If you're guessing the top here, you're going to get cooked. Shorts are trapped right now. This was sort of Globex low from Friday morning. That's where we're trading into here. Strong recovery. It's a big H1 squeeze here. It looks very, very good. 60 points already in the first 8 minutes. Expanding the initial balance range. We are still inside the daily candle, but we are above previous day open now. So can it squeeze all the way up to previous day high? That's the question. Or are we going to create a lower high in here? Sorry, guys. Pull this up for you. Bit extended from these flow zones here. So ES coming into previous day open, very, very close. QQQ got a way to go. SPY also with a little way to go here. The trade up to 606s. Previous day high 608 on the SPY. Do pullbacks hold here, or are we going to get stuck into that old Globex low area after rebalancing? You would think it needs a pullback at some point, but the thing is, a bit like last week, we found the last few weeks when shorts are cooked, this thing will not give much of a pullback. So it's very, very hard to get like a good level to enter on the buy off right now. And traps are paying right now in this market. Traps are definitely paying. They're what's paying. Again, easiest buys were overnight. What's hard right here is zooming out. Let's just go to a 5-minute. All right, the nice buy was off this level here. Maybe even a back test of this level here, which was 730. I could argue that this was a buy opportunity here, but really I would have liked to seen a trap before thinking about higher. And now we're just looking to drift into this level, it seems, just drifting up on a short squeeze. So pullbacks might be few and far between unless there's actually going to be some real failure in this market. Shorts are stuck yet again. We've got another Monday morning with shorts stuck in the market. Market looking very strong here now. Apple 1.1% up. Microsoft just under 1.1% up. Amazon 1.2% up. Google 1.4% up. Meta 0.33% up. Nvidia 3.45% up. Tesla 1.3% down. Tesla, the weak one. The weak one in Tesla remains weak in this market. NQ, the strongest of the indexes, 1.16% up. ES 0.6% up. RTY 0.13% up. YM 0.33% up. All right, so NQ the strongest because tech is having a day right now. All right, so what does that mean? Shorting this is probably the most dangerous right now because it's the strongest in the market. You would be shorting against relative strength in this market. Buyers starting to step up now. All right, they're starting to move their positions up to get filled around the 35. So they're looking to absorb and hold now for a rotation. We are still, I'm going to remind you, we're still in an inside day. And this has the chance to break out, but we're still in an inside day. We're 20 minutes away from an initial balance. I still have not pulled the trigger on anything yet. I'm being so patient on a Monday morning here. Feel much, much better Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week about taking a big trade. Right now, even with this flag, it can squeeze high, but we're so far away from back testing anything. It's very hard to pull the trigger. If we think about a fib, we're going to be right in the golden zone for where shorts will want to think about coming in and setting that lower high. Yeah, we're right into the top of the golden zone here. We literally just tapped it. See it right here, sorry. Right into the top of that golden zone, where we started breaking down from last week. Trying to absorb off the flow zones here. This was your last flag. Here's your imbalance, your engulfing candle. Are they going to go again for the same thing? Target, ultimate target's all the way up here. That's what they want to do. Remember, this is a key level from Friday that we're trading into right now. Still only 100 points in this initial balance, or just over. Plenty of time left. 15, 17 minutes left, sorry. What's hitting the tape? Long so far this morning, paying. Can they get up into 925-ish? That's what they're looking to do. They're looking to get up into this level up here right now. They get stuck here, then they're going to get stuck at Friday's Globex. Structure-wise, you're still bullish. You're still bullish. Again, as a value buyer, it's really hard for me when we've given a nice flush down, dipped, held, soaked all session long, just strong trend up to get involved. I like those traps down low for me to buy cheap. I am a cheapskate. I do not like buying high. I absolutely hate buying high. The only time I do it is when it's built out enough liquidity and I know shorts are trapped. Now, just waiting and doing it. That's just how I trade. You don't have to trade the same way as me. Building volume today. Let's have a look. We do get a bit thicker up here from previous sessions, so might find some sellers here. Might need to come and back test towards 77s before it thinks about doing anything else. If it can reach 880, then we get a bit thin for that move up to 940. I'd say sort of if it can reach 880, then we have a quick move up towards, yeah, that sort of 930, 940 area. Yeah, exactly, Coop. It's trying to just build liquidity to move higher right now. It's all it wants to do. It wants shorts to keep getting stuck to move higher, but it's a tricky one to take, isn't it? They're continuing to squeeze here. If we set a high of week into Tuesday and that print comes out hot, weekly model is going to be absolute fire this week if we do that. New 15-minute bar here. Can see it's just not letting shorts out of this market. It's just drifting higher and holding and then drifting and holding and then drifting. That's when you know shorts are stuck. That's when you know shorts are stuck. Look at the book here. So 9 sellers at 900 and then 22K. That's where the big size is right now. Tesla now doing very, very well. Now just 0.75% down. It was over 3% down at one point today. So we're starting to try and recover with this market being strong. Still in an inside bar, remember. We're still inside last week's range, still inside Friday's daily candle with a failed breakout underneath Friday's candle. That was what happened at the Sunday open. So the best trade location happened Sunday open for buys, and the first half an hour after that. While everyone was watching the Super Bowl, that's what the market did. Starting to build out some liquidity up here. Be careful when it does this. Remember, these are where it sets those traps to come back later. We get really steep here. If we just don't really, if we build this way, we want structured this way to go upside. If we keep building just really tight, at one point it will use this, and then if it sets the trap underneath, it will come back and use it for upside pressure. Have I taken a trade? Nope, I have not taken a trade. Completely flat. Mexican president, we're going to wait for to hear if Trump's announcement on steel and aluminium imports. Uncertainties over the state of the Mexican bilateral relationships could persist at least until mid-2026, when a review of the USMCA is scheduled. So again, tariff news mainly on Mexico this morning. Remember, every trade you take in this market, you are at risk of news. You've seen what happens. One piece of news can move the market. I showed you on Friday, we had, I think it was a 130-point move in 3 seconds. Market just wants a bit of security right now, a bit of clarity on what we're doing. It doesn't want these pieces of news hitting the wire unscheduled all the time. It's not what traders want. Traders are not confident sitting in positions when we get that. What they want is a steady plan of action which we can price into the market. Market's forward looking. Once we know what we're doing with tariffs, we don't know what we're doing with tariffs right now. We don't know how long they're actually going to be paused for, when they're actually going to come into effect, at what state they're going to be coming into effect, or what rate, what the implications will be on the tariffs back on America. All these things are not priced in, right? Much like inflation, we know we get inflation data on Wednesday. We know once a month Powell talk. So then we have a reason and a way of pricing in once we get the information. Right now, the information is not clear and direct on the tariffs, and that's causing a bit of uncertainty. Yes, trying to base out here. But this liquidity is starting to look a little bit tight in here. Might want to go and give a sweep soon. Just like this. We just talked about it. So if you take this short, you have to be proactive. I'm in this short now. You have to be proactive, moving your stop down, taking partials. Remember, this is counter trend. It will do this to take out all the late bulls, and then it will trade, if it wants to, back upside, setting the inverted head and shoulder. So it will use this. It will sweep out. And then if it's ready to go back upside, I've already locked in some profits here, it will. Just a small trade here, but this seems like it wants to come and take this guy, and then how we react here will be key. If it keeps absorbing in front of this guy, then we're just going to go upside more first. So very proactive for a quick scalp into here. And then if it flushes, fantastic. If it doesn't, that's also okay. So reclaiming here and out. Just tiny, tiny trade there. Made bugger all, but it's fine. Getting my dipping my toe in the market this morning. So shorts cooked there again. Straight back to highs. Woo! So didn't even need to trap. This is the thing. This market, we said it last week, a lot of the times, shorts are so cooked, it's not really needing to trap. And that's what's making it really hard to be involved as a buyer. Right? I would much rather we trapped under here, came and did this, and then enter this. But all this pullback did was tiny, boom. Flat top, boom. Like, it's in such a hurry to move higher because shorts are cooked. I really wanted to participate as a buyer on a pullback down into here underneath this low. That's what I really wanted to do. So I'll try to take a short into it and then flip, but no good. Upside we go. Upside we go. VIX now underneath 16s. If VIX keeps failing, S&P can keep driving higher. Market is wanting to get up to 930s and above. Previous day high, and then liquidity above. We have the initial balance coming in 7 minutes. Amazon having a good day here. 1.8% up now on Amazon. Nice recovery after those earnings dip. The earnings were good. It was just the forecasting. Earnings beat on absolutely everything. A bit of a sell the news event for the earnings. And a bit of worry about the forecasting, but it looks good. Looks good long term. How have I got just under 90 of you watching and only 20-something likes? Come on, people. Do me a favor. Come on. I know we haven't had a trade yet today, but we will get one. We are trend up. Flow zone's holding. Hindsight's a thing, eh? But again, today, I was looking for a deeper pullback somewhere here, really. But this was enough. Clearly, that was enough. Shorts just in so much pain that they're getting out in a hurry, and I can't get the buys that I really want. Still absorbing here. Still selling on the tape higher. 870, 885, 890. Nothing huge. 900's where most of the volume is right now. 100 lot up there. 115 lot at 22K. That's where it really wants to go. It really wants to get up towards that 22,000. That will give us a breakout of this range that we've been in. Right? Well, pretty much. That would take out, if we get through 964, then we get to 22,000. Honestly, I think we make new all-time highs if we do that. Because that level at 22,093 wants to get taken. If we're really bullish through 60, we probably go all the way up to the highs. Whether that's today or tomorrow, but it would definitely will have momentum on the side with shorts in the range starting to get themselves in trouble. I can show you what I mean. All right, strong trend. Absorbed here. Shorts got stuck here. We go back upside. If we use these short stops, we get back up to here and then all-time highs. All right, 2 secs. Refill my coffee here. Oh, there we go. So bull's still in control. Still no reason to be short in this. We haven't swept any liquidity yet, which is surprising. So if too many bulls get caught, at some point you'd expect them to do a sweep. But right now, higher time frame shorts are stuck. They're looking for a trade through 900, 925, 22K, and then all-time highs. That's where the bulls want to take us right now. The only way we're going to get there is if shorts are stuck in the market. If too many shorts are already stuck in the market, they won't need to retrap. Okay, so if they feel like the last 3 weeks in a row, they've got enough caught in the market, they won't need to retrap, right? They won't need to come and do this. I'd expect they will need to do that at some point, but right now, they clearly don't need to. There's clearly enough shorts. If we zoom out, let's go to a 15-minute. Let's just take this off. There's clearly enough shorts, swing position shorts, caught at the low, caught at the low. One was down here, caught at the low. So these are all the Sunday, Monday opens. 1, 2, 3, right? Blown out, blown out. If these guys get blown out, we go upside. It's just hard for me knowing that that morning dip was now 440 points away. I always find that it always messes with my head a bit when I think, oh, that was the buy opportunity. Now I'm having to think about buying that much higher. Thanks, Mike. ES getting stuck here at the previous day open. All right, keeps tagging up there. Hasn't quite, I don't think it's even swept yet. So it keeps getting stuck up at previous day open here. VIX still stuck underneath 16. If it gets weakness under 16, it's going to help ES drift upside. At the moment, everything being absorbed, everything being squeezed upside. Yeah, I can see that, Coop, exactly. Where we created that left shoulder at like 9 a.m., dipped down to VWAP, now basing, sort of a cup and handle as well, inverse cup and handle, looks like it's going to start expanding upside. So through previous day open now on the ES. We have a way to go on the SPY. The ETFs have a way to go if they're going to drift upside. Right, they're lagging behind the futures this morning, the ETFs. So initial balance now being printed, right? So coming into the 10:30 print, we are at the IB high. So IB rules will apply now. We're thinking about failed auctions and sustained auctions. Trend upside will be above the initial balance. We will hold the initial balance. Failed auction will be push and fail above the initial balance and a trade back inside the IB and probably back down to VWAP. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a VWAP off the 9:30 because this session might be one that we need it in. There we go. And there's our 9:30 VWAP. All right. So, auction, failed auction theory. That's what we're thinking about. We are trend up. No reason to short yet. We're trend up. Searching for that liquidity higher. We have a double top basically on the daily at 970s kind of level. That's where the market would love to go. If it can rinse those stops, then it has the chance to drive higher on those stops. If we fail, if we go through 970 and fail inside, then probably a rotation. Everything I'm looking at looks very, very bullish. I need to find a way to get involved. I'd still love a trap underneath some of these swing points. I'd still love a trap underneath some of these to get involved in. That's the kind of play I'd like. Otherwise, I'm going to have to look for something above the IB for a squeeze higher, which is not my favorite play when all day, remember, we're up from here overnight, right? So having to buy the IB high is not my favorite play in these. Buying low is my favorite play in these. I don't like that we've left all this liquidity here. Not ideal. I can only trade what's in front of me. ES sustaining bids so far above its IB high. Meta now red on the day. 99 of you watching, almost hit the 100 mark. That would be the first time ever on stream, I think, if we get there. Fantastic. Oh, for a second, and then everyone left. As soon as I said that, everyone was like, we're out of here. Market wants to drift higher here. It wants to go and fill all the imbalances. It wants to come and take out That hourly level into around 67. That's what it wants to do. Does it need to trap more shorts before getting there? That's the question. How are we going to operate around this initial balance? I know, you're so right. Every time I leave the stream, like you see like 20, 30 point people leave, even though I leave for like a minute. It's hilarious. Just sitting there on the edge of their seats waiting for a signal from me. Hold of just hindsight, man. Just hindsight, looking for deeper, but this was probably enough. It's a shame we didn't pull back in here at that point. No deep sort of RBS level today because shorts are cooked. Because shorts are cooked, no deep RBS level. So there's a back test here on ES of the IB. Strong trend here, liquidity trend. You've got to think at some point that they would want to come and sweep these buys out, but maybe they just want to go to target first. I don't know. ES soaking on that back test very, very quickly. Still right at the IB high here. You can see everything soaking. No deep, nothing, no nice flag structure here to play off. Just straight squeeze upside. This is why I'm not in this long right now. I will need a trap to play off here. Thanks, Trentry. Oh, my eyes are tired. My eyes are tired. Probably watched too much sport this weekend. Got 2 big lifts in. Put on another 2 pounds in weight. So now up to 217. Closing in on the 220 mark. That's the goal. And then I'll start stripping back. But yeah, watched a lot of sport this weekend. Watched the Six Nations. Happy to see England win. Really happy for the boys. We got a bit lucky with the French not playing very well in the first half, but I thought the boys did a great job. Still basing out here. The question is it going to go and sweep this liquidity? At some point, it will want to go and sweep the liquidity. The question is, does it need to? If enough shorts are cooked, it won't even need to. But I'm watching to see if it will trade down towards 26 at some point. Right, all this liquidity and all this liquidity, like, will it come and sweep it before going upside? I have no idea. That's what I'm watching. Will it want to do that at some point? But so far, it's holding its IB. And the longer it holds up here, the more chance it's got of building out some structure to try and get to previous day high. ES now back inside its initial balance. $178 lot at 900 now. Will they do the sweep first? Will they give me an opportunity to think about buying on a sweep first? So far, we've had no break of any low. All right. High, 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 low, high, 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 low, high, 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 low, high, 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 low, high, high. This is the low that's protecting it. Well, I guess you could argue this here. But this kind of level around here is key. I would love to see this. That's what I'd love to see, but I'm going to have to be patient. It just might not give it today. ES underneath its initial balance now. If ES starts letting go, then maybe we might get that sweep that we want. It's just very, very strong here. Reclaiming IB, ES right at its IB. QQQ at previous day open. SPY's got a little way to go to get to previous day open. NQ's already through it. Can't be short in this yet. Nothing setting up for the short side. If you're looking for that counter trend kind of play to get down towards that sweep, there's nothing here yet. The problem with these is that when it happens, if it happens when it happens, it might happen very quickly without a signal. It might just do straight down, which is actually better in many ways. If it goes straight down, then I'm going to be looking for the absorption straight back up. Just cannot, there's a part of me that cannot pull the trigger here without structure being built out. This is just drifting. Will not chase this. It can just keep going without me. Unfortunately, it's just how it is today. Probably missed the buy opportunity. Wanting a deeper pullback, didn't get the deeper pullback in the early morning session. I really wanted a deeper pullback. Clear out some of these guys. That would have been Dreamboat scenario, would have been something like this, or even down into here in a base. And it just held so strong. What's that? Maybe 50 points higher than I would have liked. But sticking to my rules. ES trying to form a flag here at the IB. How it acts here is key. The structure-wise is very, very different right now. ES is like providing much nicer structure. Much nicer structure to be playing. NQ just drift. ES is giving nice deep pullbacks on the 2-minute, creation of flag, breakout, pullback, hold, go up, flag, creation into IB, hold. If it holds that, it has a squeeze potential. The look of these is very, very different, right? I just can show you here. The look of these is very, very different. The structure of the ES this morning is much nicer. Here's your break, pull, break, pull. If it holds this, goes again. If it fails under here, you get a rotation back down on the ES. So the structure on the ES to trade this morning is much nicer than the NQ. The NQ is just in a drift. Much harder to get involved in this. ES failing its initial balance here. It's a big rejection on the ES there. We might get the sweep coming here on the Qs. The lower the better. The lower the better. If it's going to let go, you want it to let go low and sweep everyone out. Right now, just to flow zones and nothing else. Ultimately, I'd love a sweep down into 825 if it really wants to get going. It can just keep absorbing the flow zones, which is what it's been doing all day so far. So you'd need to see sellers come in here to sweep those lows. All right, they'd need to come in versus sort of 80s, I guess. If they don't do that, then they're probably not going to go lower. That might be enough. So sort of they need to come in versus this to go down to here, sweep this out, and then I'm looking for the long. If they just keep holding this, then there's probably no trade for me, to be honest. into H1 supply here. For sure, if you look at the H1 candles, we're into that H1 block where we did that drive up into 72. So what time was that? 9 o'clock on Friday. We're into that block, bottom side of that block. Again, reclaim this, then probably all shorts for the sweep move. Not that I'm looking for a short, but probably if we reclaim this, it won't do this. If we reclaim this level, it won't need to come down here. If we fail this level, it might want to come down here. $182 lot on the book up at 900. Again, this wants to drift higher. I'm just being greedy. I want it to come lower and sweep all the bulls out so I can think about getting a cheap price long. That's all it is for me. I want this to come lower so I can get a cheap price long. If it reclaims this, we got very, very close there. All right, it's starting to reclaim already. So unlikely now, although that's a rejection there, it's unlikely if it can get through here and hold this, it's unlikely it comes back to that. There you go. So this might be a day where I don't get the long that I want, unfortunately. And that's all right. Not going to get every day, folks. I'm not going to get every day. I'm only human. Again, remember, I'm looking for longs. I'm just looking for cheap longs right now. I'm looking for those bear traps to get long. Again, ES, beautiful. Beautiful flag on ES. The difference of the two is massive. The flag on ES into flow zones was really, really nice. Look at this. 1, 2, two-leg pullback into structure. This is a nice trader this morning. If you're trading ES, you should be having a good time this morning. I should probably just flip over and trade it. It's trading much, much nicer. So next up is 900. And then through 900, we should go 970s. Tesla, not too far away from going green on the session. Not too far away. Wow, it's a break for a minute. Dean, in ES from 60 to 85, where is the upside potential? Let's have a look. I'd say you've got a pool of liquidity at from 95 to 99. There's a lot of stops up there, 95 to 99. I think if you trade through that, you probably have thin liquidity to trade up to 117, and then you might as well take out that high at 123. So I'd be saying if you've got enough size, I'd be taking a partial between 95 and 99. Might as well call it the whole number, right? 6,100. And I'll be holding a runner to see if you can trade up to 117 to 125. That's what I'd be thinking about. We're drifting higher here in the market. We get a little thin here in the market, right? Volume-wise, we get thin here all the way up to 36. If they don't protect this, we should trade upside to 36. So far in a bullish day, right? Just trend bull. Everything's bullish right now. I'm looking for ways of buying this, but it's amazing. That was enough. Looking for deeper, but that was enough so far. Back to flow zones again. Back towards its initial balance again. Holding all steps up here. Every single step up is being held. But lots of selling, almost a 200 lot now at 900. That's where the market's trying to drag towards. Maybe we get that sweep at some point. Maybe, ideally, before we take out all the liquidity at the highs, we sweep a low so I can think about it. There we go. We're going to get a sweep. Are we going to do it? Are we going to give something deep where I can think about getting involved? Or are we just going to hold all price? Steve, F it. I'm trading the Dow. What's the Dow doing today? Just stuck, but well, bouncing off its IB low to VWAP. They're very, very different markets right now. Feels like that let go and sweep might be coming. It might be coming in this market. I like this liquidity down here if it can drift down into here and the anchored view up off 930. Especially if it leaves 900. They're just different markets, Steve. If you're trading the Dow, you've got different things moving it. So back to initial balance. Still in bullish structure so far. ES still trying to build a flag. 608. Yeah, I'd say I'd watch the move into 606, 606.25s, and then yeah, potentially into 608.10, previous day high on the SPY. Potential. Basing at the IB now. A double bottom here, or lots of liquidity here. Does it do this and then offer me that? If it comes up here first, then I'm just going to be less interested in a trade at all. So we just keep driving higher, and I'm going to run out of targets to go for at that point. Here we go. Here we go. Come on, just drift way lower. Don't be stopping here. You're not sweeping anything. It's like only sweeping these. I need these guys out first. So failed auction technically would be underneath that initial balance. All right, if we start to flip some of this, then we can expect that roll over and sweep. If we keep reclaiming, it's going to keep drifting higher. It's going to be so hard for me to get involved if we're going to do that. So hard. ES looking very, very strong. SPY looking strong. There are targets upside. We have previous day high upside that the market generally wants to aim for. Oh, I'm trying to pull this down for you to see. This is where it generally wants to go, into this liquidity pool here. If it gets through that and runs those stops out, 76 here, then we should just trade straight upside into this. So if it gets through this, we should go upside. I want to be a buyer in this market, but I'm just not willing to buy high right now. I just feel like I've missed this trade today, unfortunately. And SPY looks so good. Way better. Like the ES looks way better. Its structure for upside moves looks way better. 2-minute chart on the SPY on the ES looks really, really good. Yeah, nice tie. The SPY does look good. You just need to take that liquidity out, like 605s to 605.80s. You trade through that, and you can get back towards 607.50s and then 608s, and then through that, then you've got a higher time frame squeeze on through Friday's high day. Do we get a flag here in a breakdown? Please, can you just give me something? Give me something to trade today. Flag here in a breakdown for a sweep here would be great. Again, you'd be counter. If you're taking this short, you'd be counter trend. If you're waiting for the long, you'd be pro trend on and after liquidity taken. Do I think there's an inside IB trade to VWAP? Potentially, yeah, potentially, because the sweeps would be of these. So potentially, if it gets stuck here, you're counter trend though, right? This is a counter trend trade. This is the hardest trade to take in the book, but potentially, yes, there is that trade set up. That's what I would like. I'm not even necessarily thinking about the short here. I might be more inclined to wait and see if I can get a long like this back up, knowing that then we've built shorts into the market for more upside. But yes, there is potential for it. We haven't flipped flow zones yet, but we are technically underneath the initial balance. One thing I would say is ES is not under the IB yet. ES is basing out very, very strong above the initial balance right now. If ES just holds 90s down to 86, it can keep drifting higher, and that will drag the market up with it. I'm going to say this, I'd much rather we go lower and take out all the bulls and trap shorts before we take out 900, because then I know that there's a seller up there to aim for. If we go straight upside and don't drift lower, it's going to be really hard for me to buy. SS, you're going to go long around 21,830. Yeah, just make sure you wait for structure though, right? Like if you just put a buy order in there and for some reason they overrun it by this much and then do it, you know, then you're going to have to absorb a lot of pain. So I'm thinking about a long somewhere down into here, but it needs to get down into there and offer me something like this, right? That's what I'd be looking for. It might not even get down there. At the moment, it's not showing a much of a willingness to get down there. The 21 EMA strategy at a 5-minute time frame. Did you watch my video at the weekend, or are you just saying that? Yeah, nice. So ES back to initial balance high here. ES back testing that level. It's been 3 drives up so far. I'm watching the ES here. If it starts to let go, then maybe we get that trade. If it holds the initial balance, then maybe we just squeeze all the way back to 900. Yeah, it is. Market, honestly, market just feels like so many shorts are stuck in it. That's why I don't really love the counter trend short today. I want to take the long once it's like swept. Now we've swept this. How we act in here is key. If we do this, great. If we do this, it's going to keep drifting. It's going to be really hard for me to get involved long. I did, yeah. Ireland, Scotland, I did. Great game. Great game. Thought Pentagrass looking great at 10. Looking great, like really good at 10. Slotting in nice. To see a 21-year-old, like I think the sign of a good player like that is just if you can slot in without really being seen. Just doing the basics right. Nice ball distribution. You know, Scotland were missing, I forget his name, that big centre that could have really run that 10-12 channel to attack a soft shoulder on Pendergrass. So, yeah, I'm happy for them. I actually went back and I watched, in preparation for the Lions this year, I went and watched the Living with the Lions from 1997. Great doc if you haven't watched that. You can get it on YouTube. There's a stream on YouTube. It's 3 hours long, but I love that doc. Yeah, all eyes would be on Ireland, France this year. That would be the big one. Ireland looked good for a Grand Slam, which is amazing considering Farrell's not with them right now, and you know Sexton leaving and Omani getting a bit older. The SSA, I haven't looked at those. Yeah, AMD and INTC, Intel. Yeah, Nvidia dragging the market up with that, up 3.2%. So those semis moving up with it. I would like one good trade today, please. Market leaving me in the dust today. So yes, just 3 drives this morning. It's holding its initial balance right now. It's in a nice channel up. It's holding it until that breaks down. Don't think the market gives you much relief. No reason for it to give any relief right now. Shorts are stuck in this market. Targets are upside. It's just drifting higher. Unless there's a pullback in the Mag 7, market doesn't really need to do much. Yeah, same, Peter. There's nothing really here setting up for me today. Market's stronger than I thought it'd be on Monday morning, though, to be honest. I thought we'd just range rotate. I really thought maybe we'd rotate between sort of 870 and 700 a little bit more than we have. But maybe that's coming. Maybe that's coming. Are they going to rebase here now? Push, pull, do they hold, go back for this high, go back for 900? Or is this buyer starting to build up volume here and then get caught in this? It's too early to say right now. Yes, back to its initial balance high again. Again, 900, 21,900. There's a 200 lot basically up there. Nice, Dean. Good work. Lovely work. Simple, isn't it? Those EMAs, they make things very, very simple. So maybe a flush coming here. ES back to initial balance. See how we act here at 860s. If we flush 860s, then I think there's a trade back down into here. If we start failing these and enough get caught, we might get a trade back into this VWAP and this liquidity back down here. So just be cautious. Remember, every single short that you think about today is a counter trend short. It is a counter trend short. Should come and at least sweep this liquidity at 60s. If it holds 60s, it's incredible strength. So looking to see if I can trade this down into VWAP, and then I'll think about that trade back upside if it can put in some bullish structure down there. That's what I'd like to do. If it doesn't let me do it, then what am I going to do? There's not much I can do for the day. It just holds these lows down here. There's nothing I can do, which is what it looks like it's going to do. So there's nothing I can really do here. It's going to protect this. I don't want to get chopped up in this, right? I want this or this kind of move. I'm not going to get involved up here if we're just going to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I'll just wait. Yes, underneath its IB has not broken structure yet. Has not come under 86, has not swept any key levels. You would expect it to sweep these stops, but it has not been willing to do that at all so far in this session. It has not needed to. I would expect a breakdown to at least sweep these stops that it's resting by right now. Keeps tapping down into these levels. If a clean break here would be better. Here we go. Here we go. Don't want it to absorb straight upside. We need a big trade down here. We've got a long way to go here to be thinking about taking a long back up. A failed breakout, failed auction of the IB high so far. So potential trade down to here. Liquidity, liquidity, liquidity. Liquidity, we're looking for a sweep of these, and then I'm going to be thinking about an upside move. Deeper the better right now. One eye on ES. Trading into and around the deep pullback flow zones right now. ES coming back into the pool of liquidity it built around 10 a.m. to 10:20. This is a back test of that sort of pre-market high, that 9 a.m. high. If it holds this, that can be enough for ES. That's the question here. Hopefully, we can get a deeper pullback on the Qs. I don't really want it to just stop here. Needs to stay heavy versus these stops that it just had in. These stops here, it needs to kind of stay heavy versus this. Reclaims this, I doubt we go back to here. Rejects this, wash back to here. But nothing bearish yet, really. Structure-wise and flow zones, they're starting to curl, but it's very, very early. They can reclaim very, very quickly here. If this Again, if this is enough to trap, if that's enough to trap, they'll do it. We want that play, but we want it down here from a greedy point of view. We want cheap buys with good risk reward. That's what we're looking for. Did ES sweep there as well, or did it leave a double bottom? It didn't quite sweep. Bit of a slower, more boring stream today, team. Sorry about that. Not much I can do. If I miss that long in the morning, and then I'm not going to force my way in short, so I have to just wait. You know what I'm looking for. I've made it really, really clear what I'd like to see in this market. Unfortunately not. Be nice if I traded enough sides to do that. Back to IB high here. ES reclaiming IB high. Maybe that was enough of a sweep. Who knows? Not deep enough to make me want to buy it. But if that was enough, that was enough and they reclaim, then they can go upside. If they reject this, then we get that bigger wash that we're looking for. Notice how there's not many imbalances left. There's no huge volume. There's no big kill candles yet. You know, it's drifting is the kind of thing I'd call it. The only imbalances really one here, tiny one here, one here. Everything else is very, very tight. This is very, very tight. Right, so no like big kill candle, and then we can think about a reprice, or big kill candle and soak and trap everyone underneath. This is just nice and tight, building liquidity to go higher still. It's trying to build like a W. Let's target up here, red line. I'd just much rather it did this much lower. Yes, looking a little bit weaker up here. Starting to get a bit stuck here. Unless it can like really reclaim and give a good shove here. Yes, it's definitely looking a little bit weaker here. Market might do that move soon if ES starts to break down under that most recent low it put in. All right, ES starting to sweep now. How it acts here is key on the ES. Sort of 86.25-ish. How it acts there, key. Stays heavy under that, can give a deeper wash. If ES just wicks and reclaims or holds, I mean, it shouldn't hold. It should at least wick and then reclaim. Might drift back up. very tight market here. Again, you can see no big imbalances, no big kill candle, no big volume stepping in, still just chopping around. Here is your structure if it wants to move higher. Again, I would much rather a trade into here first. I have a feeling this is going to be closer and closer to a no trade day for me. Oh, I've had one scalp, but I mean, it's nothing. 200 odd bucks. Yeah, exactly, guys. I mean, we're still on an inside bar. I'll just remind you, really good to zoom out. Let's go back to a daily. We're still in an inside bar. All right, fail breakout at the low. We're still trading inside of Friday. If we go to a week, we're inside the weekly range still, with a target of these highs up here, double high up here at 972. As soon as I've gone to that, we're going to do it, aren't we? We're going to do the deeper one. Move back to the screen. All right, ES just gave that flush, right? ES just washed those stops at 86. So if it stays heavy versus 86 on the ES now, it might want to drift lower. I wouldn't agree with that necessarily, Steve. I thought last week the price action wasn't too bad. It was pretty easy to read. We're only on a Monday this week. I don't think it's been terrible price action. It's just, you know, shorts are stuck and we've been drifting higher, and you're either in it long early from sort of Asia, London, or maybe you're chase long in New York. That's not how I play, so I'm not in it. Back to the deep flow zone pullbacks here. Would love to see a wash down into here. Take these guys out. That would be a nice play. That move there is basically what ES has already done. ES is down here right now. It's in this guy. This block here is where ES is already trading into. Hey, welcome back, South Cat Dad. Haven't seen your name here for a bit. Hope you're doing good. I am doing good, my friend. So flag or breakdown. ES wants to break down lower here. Right into its liquidity. SPY is trading right into its VWAP right now. All right, so it's a big cover point if anyone was counter trend short here in the SPY. How it acts here is key. NQ is nowhere near, neither is QQQ. It's VWAP. Relative strength here on the Qs. They're way, way, way above VWAP. SPY trading right into its VWAP right here and right now. So any bounce here is off SPY buyers stepping in at VWAP. Back underneath the pre-market high now on SPY as well. So it's a big level here, whether they absorb this or not. If not, we go back towards low of day probably on the SPY. What a boring day. Oh, here comes the fails. Okay. So are we going to do it now? Can we come back down towards the VWAP? Remember, we had buys in here earlier, this key level. Would like to see all these guys get swept out in a trade into VWAP. That would be really, really nice. SPY traded under VWAP, instantly reclaimed. So back testing its VWAP right now. Love to get something in here. If we can get some bullish structure down there, it'd be amazing. Yeah, Jesse, it's just one of those days, mate. It's just one of those days. Tighter range today, like initial balance is 129 points. all of the market green. You wonder if some profit taking comes in before lunch. Maybe that's what this is. SPY right at its VWAP. ES with a little way to go to get down there. So first flow zone starting to curl, but we're not underneath the deep pullback, right? The better short comes if you get this move here. And then I'll be thinking about the long back up, to be quite honest. Unless some news hits the market and there's a reason for it not to do it. So letting go of VWAP now, the SPY. We are in some structure here to the left. So if we're going to do sort of a bigger head and shoulder look, is this is the neckline. This is where they will try and save it for that rotation back up. This is where buyers came in earlier, so you have to be aware of that. It's been very hard to take a signal here this morning. Technically speaking, I guess we could say that the break under here, but this was absorbed. It's messy, guys. It's messy. Watching how SPY acts here on the back test of VWAP. Do they stay heavy versus it? Or is that a little dunk under and soak, and then we go back towards the IB high? Here's the back test coming. And ES also swept that pivot, put in at 820. Does it get a flag breakdown here for that move that we're looking for? $26s-ish, 25s. Watching the tape, there is a little bit of buying down there. It's not a whole lot to drag it down into it, but there is some. But any short you take today is technically counter trend until it proves otherwise. Market is all green. Well, Mag 7 is all green. Tesla trying to go back red on the day. It got all the way up to PDC. Finding a bit of selling there at 360s. NQ, the strongest of the bunch, remember. So any short on NQ, you are shorting into relative strength. NQ 1.2% up. ES 0.5% up. RTY just about green. YM just about green. So NQ, the strongest of the bunch. Remember, we'd love a deeper pullback to get long. We're thinking about the longs. Issue is NQ is not doing it. ES has literally come to that level, which is I just got a feeling it's going to be one of those days. How long left to lunch? New 5-minute bar coming any second now. Most of the volume on the day now based up here as well. Point of control on this session I've got up at sort of 69. And then the other big volume area is way down at 586. So 8 869-ish, 870. That's where most of the volume is, which is what we're going back up towards now. So if we reclaim that, you probably think that any short in the market is stuck again. SPY holding its VWAP, reclaiming its VWAP, going back towards its IB high. I would love to see NQ move lower first, but the move that we're looking for in NQ to here, ES has done it. ES has taken out this, which is annoying. What are you going to do? I'm still would like to see that come to fruition on the NQ. Maybe we get it. Watching the flow zones here. Maybe we get a breakdown here. Looks a bit thin. Oh, what is going on? Can you see that flickering on the screen? Hey, come on. What's going on here, computer? You're just printing random things now. Crazy. Can we get the breakdown here? Can we get a continuation short and then flip long? Who knows? My computer's going nuts right now. Don't know what's going on. Flickering around. There we go. Back to normal. Don't know what that was about. Let's put your channel in here. Something like this is what you're in. We'd love a sweep of these guys here and then think about that. But like I keep saying, ES has already done it. They're making this a little bit tricky today. A little bit tricky. There's no like big kill candle. There's nothing really obvious here in how it's moving. SPY is holding its VWAP. NQ is well above its VWAP. QQQ is well above its VWAP. It's very, very bullish. It has relative strength. I'm very reluctant to pull trigger on a short today on the Qs. New 15 and 5 minute and 30 minute bar coming in just under 2 minutes. Remember, most of the volume on the day, point of control up here at 87s, is this? 873s, right up here. It's where most of the volume's been traded on the day. So above this, shorts are in trouble. Below this, maybe needs to make a flag before that next move. That's basically what we're looking for, an H1 flag before the next move. So any short will be the creation of the H1 flag. The longs will be the breakout of the H1 flag, right? No volume stepping in. Nothing. I still think we should go lower first and clean it up, but the fact that ES has done it is going to make it very, very tricky for NQ to want to participate in that move. I would love to sweep all those 825 kind of levels first, especially if we get getting stuck here at flow zones. It makes more sense, but deep pullback is absorbing. Momentum's trying to get underneath deep pullback for this kind of cross down. SPY back to its VWAP. So cash guys trying to hold their view up. All right, cash players in the New York session trying to hold their view up. What a boring session. Boring session. SPY right on view up, right here, right now. Did they absorb it again? Been down here for a little amount of time now, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes or so down here on the SPY. Trying to absorb it again, you can see. Do they sell back down into this, though, on this last push up? Or a flush point on the NQ? Or do we just rip faces? Just a dance here in volume, you can see it. I think I just no trade here today. There's my gut feeling. Just make sure you're not one of the traders getting chopped up this morning. Yeah, exactly. Just hands off. Just let it do whatever it is it wants to do. Yeah, starting to die heavily here. SPY well underneath its view up. NQ, again, relative strength. It does not want to do the same moves right now. Tech holding up. Mag 7 holding up pretty well right here. Maybe the ES is going to come to its VWAP, which would be 77. That's a little bit lower than it is now. Trading into its algorithms now into 80s, in and around 80s. Do they let this go? Do we get this move that we've been talking about all bloody morning? Maybe, 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 maybe. Starting to break down the bear flag here. Needs to let go of this channel. Trade into here, let go of that. Maybe a trade into here. Remember, all the liquidity is right here. My phone won't stop going. Sorry, team. Hopefully it wasn't too loud on stream. Ugh. So absorbing off the lower end of that channel still. ES, much nicer trader today. You know, you had that 3 move higher than the head and shoulder look, fail under the initial balance, trade back to VWAP. Way, way, way nicer trader today, guys. Way nicer trader. There's a bounce again. That's in front of VWAP on the ES. SPY coming to back test it from the underside to see if sellers are still present in the market. SPY has come all the way back up to an imbalanced candle on the 5-minute. All right, so it came right down, repricing some of that action. If it wants to find bids here, it can. Much, much better trader this morning. It's just one of those things. Sometimes that happens. Volume is built above us here, though. I will say that. We protected a low volume node in front of this. We basically get thin from like here all the way up to here. So this area here is a bit thinner. This area here is a bit thinner. So they're trying to protect this right now. I want that trade. If that fails, then we get continuation. I'm going to be right back, team. My buddy's just texted me. He's just woken up in New Orleans. He was at Saquon Barkley's birthday party after the game. Unbelievable. He just sent me a video. Unbelievable. What a blagger getting into that. All right, so we're still in this channel. All right, we still have liquidity sat here. We still have this anchored VWAP off the lows. And remember, ES has already done this move. All right, ES has already come and swept out these guys. All right, so you have divergence in the market. Remember, we're looking for an upside move in the market. That's what we're originally looking for, is that upside move in the market to come and back test or get into those sort of 900, 930s to 970s. We get through that, we can keep moving higher. What we're looking at now is a potential flag being built on like an H1. So this play here, right, that we're looking for is a potential flag. Ideally, a sweep like this. And then we can think about that move higher. Once we take out all this liquidity and some volume, we want to see volume step back into the upside. We can think about a move higher later in the day. So sorry, I bet that was really loud. So that's what I'm looking for. What's made it hard is I wouldn't have even minded a pullback and taking the short, but it's been... Now, there's no big kill candle in here. We're dancing around the flow zones. It's not like it's giving a really obvious, nice bear flag that's really clean for me to trade. Again, I keep saying it. The ES has been a very, very nice trader today. That's been the one to trade. Feeling a little bit under the weather here. Sorry, team. Hopefully, I could feel it coming last week. Hopefully, nothing bad. Okay, SPY reclaiming its VWAP. ES never got to its VWAP. NQ and QQQ nowhere near their VWAPs. Way, way above. Right, their relative strength in the market. Remember, if you're going to short the NQ today, it's the hardest one to take a short on. Right, it's up the most in the market. It's going to be the hardest one. You're shorting against strength. That's very, very tough to do. Easiest shorts today. I haven't even looked. I would say the easiest shorts are probably YM. Let's have a quick look on here. Yeah, easiest shorts. Right, it's just drifting lower. puke out in the morning session, back to view up, fail, back to view up, fail, back to view up, fail, and now underneath the initial balance low after closing its gap, right? After closing its gap. So you want to be short where there's relative weakness, not where there's relative strength. I know that's hard to get your head around because you think, oh, it's up more, so it's got more chance of failing. It can fail further. That is true, but only if it's ready. It doesn't want to do it. When you're trying to short, when Apple's up 0.6%, Microsoft's up 1.18%, Amazon's up 1.57%, Google's up 1%, Meta's up over 0.5%, Nvidia's up almost 3%, and Tesla was down like 3.5% and closed the gap all the way to green and is now down 0.5%. So it's just sort of balancing out. Right? And it's Monday. Don't start your week off bad, right? Monday's just setting the tone for the week. It's just creating a bit of range. There's no news scheduled for today. Doesn't mean news can't hit the wire, but there's nothing scheduled. So we expected a choppy day. We didn't really get that much of a choppy day. I will say, like, this is, although the range is not so good, this is annoying that it decided it had to do this crap this morning and not come down to here to get long. But then really, it's just been uptrend all day and now creation of flag. As long as it holds this, otherwise rotation back to where we came from. Remember, underneath that, the one thing I'll remind you, if it starts failing today, these guys are asking to get swept out. That's the one thing I would say. I would say it probably needs news to make that happen. But if that happened, they're asking to get swept out of the market. Because all we've done all day, opened on Sunday, flush lower, held higher time frame demand, drove up instantly. Asia drove up, London drove up, New York drove up, right? So bulls are all in the money right now. Every bull from every session is currently in the money right now. Yeah. Someone else said that earlier. All right. Someone else was having some rhythmic issues on NinjaTrader. So there might be some issues. I'm not trading on rhythmic. I'm only trading on TraderVate. So I don't know. But someone did come in chat earlier and say the same thing. They had issues with rhythmic on bull knocks. Just be aware of that if there are issues. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe someone else in chat can say something. I'm not trading with rhythmic. There you go. So there's a few people. Yeah, lots of you having rhythmic issues. All right. So what do you do when you have rhythmic issues? You don't trade. It's really, really simple. You do not trade. Don't touch it. Don't guess. Don't hope, because there is no guarantee then with whatever prop firm you're with or whether you're trading your own money that they care about you. All right. The amount of times I've seen it where traders have rhythmic issues, they still take a trade and they think, well, there's rhythmic issues. Surely they're going to say, we'll give you your money back. And they don't. Don't even bother. Well, what I would say, is try and close it down on the firm that you're with direct, if you can do that. You can close it down in our trader as well, rather than trying to execute on Ninja or whoever you're with. And then hopefully the prop firms do you a solid there. That's what I would say. You can flatten an apex. You should be able to flatten an R trader as well in the actual R trader itself. But if there's an outage, sounds like there's a big outage, then you've got more likelihood of your firms doing something about it. Yeah, good. Raise a ticket. Definitely raise a ticket. I'm sorry you guys go through that. It's so stressful, isn't it? As if trading isn't hard enough to have stuff like that happen. I totally understand. Yeah, but I think it's just a rhythmic issue. So that would be a server issue. Are you all having issues with bull knocks, or are you on various platforms, various providers, let's say? If it's all on one platform, then it would be their server. Like if it's all on Bullnox RTrader, then it would be their server. If you're having issues on Apex and Bullnox and other ones, then it would just be an RTrader issue. Okay, so it just sounds like it's an RTrader issue then, because if it's Bullnox and Apex, it won't have anything to do with sales. That would just be an RTrader issue. So that's multiple servers. They don't share the same server. They all have their own servers. So I'd imagine you'll be looked after in that case. But sorry to hear that, guys. That's a flipping nightmare. So stressful when that happens, isn't it? It was last year. I remember that happening, and it was either last year or the year before. I can't remember. And Apex denied anything happened, and I didn't have any video proof because I wasn't streaming back then, and I couldn't get out of position, and I lost everything. I remember being absolutely fuming with them about it. But I think customer service is a little bit better nowadays. They've realized that they can't afford to do that. Like it feels like it wants to break down here, but I just don't trust that we get that move. Watching this now. Every time we take a wick, we absorb straight back up. There's no like strong selling downside yet. I want to see us like take this wick and expand lower. It's straight back upside. Like every single tiny M1 wick taken, straight back upside. There's not like, it's not like we break this and we run these guys out. Right? There's no willingness to come down into here right now. It's shorts are definitely still stuck in this. And unless we do like a big move down where they chase, I'm less willing to take upside. I'm just going to be flat on the session. Even on a 5 minute, think about a 5 minute chart here. Let's just take these off for a second. Where are the gaps? All right, there's a slight imbalance here and a slight imbalance here, but there's nothing else. This is just like walk up, walk down. Yeah, I need a trade under these somewhere here for bullish structure. The bot is so aggressive. Oh, this one. Yeah. I mean, that's why I say to like, don't just trade it off the 1 minute, and it's better in trend days. But like if you trade it on higher time frames, you get less signals, right? And the better trade, right? The better trade is always when the momentum clouds are above the deep pullback clouds here. Momentum above deep pullback, much better. A short here is just a short into this, and I wouldn't be taking it if it's not firing on anything else. If it's only firing on an M1, you've got to really ask yourself like whether you should be taking it. Like 3 minutes have been bullish, 4 minute and everything above bullish, 2 minute bullish since before the open. All right, we had a tiny pullback here, but again, momentum clouds were above deep pullback clouds, not a good short. So understanding how to use it is key. The good shorts are when you're aligned properly. Right now, the alignment is bullish. If we think about the alignment, higher time frame algorithm, lower time frame algorithm, deep pullback, flow zone. It's bullish alignment. That's why higher time frame is bullish right now. Lower time frame is bearish because we're under momentum, but that will change the moment we recover. So it's just like the 21 EMA kind of idea, except this is a lot more detailed. The video I did at the weekend, sorry. If you've got your 21 EMA 1 minute above the 5 minute, you're bullish, right? And if they're sloping upwards, you're bullish. When you get beneath the 21 EMA, you can do a dance between that 21 and 105. That doesn't mean you're bearish. It just means it's going to test and build liquidity. When the 21 breaks below the 105, you can think about maybe a bearish move down. But you can also think about what that 21 looks like on a 15-minute chart or a 30-minute chart or an hourly chart? Oh, sorry. Sorry. I missed that. What did he do? Oh, he stopped you. He stopped you talking for using caps. Sorry, Jay Mooney. He does it a lot, doesn't he? Nightbot. The only good thing is it keeps spam out the chat. You probably notice on some of my YouTube videos, it's full of spam. People like trying to pitch their, it's normally crypto crap, to be honest, or stuff like that. So still just that one scalp for me. I'm sitting here thinking, have I missed out here? I don't really feel like I have. There's nothing I'm missing out on here. Better trades will come later in the week. Yeah, it should be in the course. It's in the course towards the back end. This is not Sparta. I'll catch you later, Idris. I don't blame you. I'm going to get off soon. It's almost lunch. Just hanging out with you guys. Sorry, guys. Hopefully, I at least kept you out the crap today, you know. Like we said, we're snipers. We look for sniper entries. We're not far away from that VWAP, the New York VWAP. "101 viewers. Did I really? Let's go. First time for everything. So finally, I know I'm not big like some of these other people on YouTube, but we're growing. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate all you guys tuning in and watching every day. No amazing trades together today, unfortunately. Last week was fantastic. In fact, every week this year has been a bit of a banger. So is this the end of the H1 pullback? Remember, you're 10 minutes away from a new H1 bar. We have volume based above us right now. So point of control on the day is up here at 866. This can be an H1 pullback. Remember, at the start of the session, we said if we build liquidity up here and up here, then you have this inverted head and shoulders look. We can go and clear out 970, and then we can come for a drive up into 22K. This has been very controlled selling. Very controlled. There's no panic in this market in this move down. This has been very, very structured, controlled selling. So any reclaim, they can get going on this. Yeah, any type of reclaim, they can start to get going on this. How we act into this new hourly bar, I would say, is pretty much key. If this is too messy for you, just move up a time frame, like a 2 or 3 minute chart. You're not going to miss out on anything today. SPY having a go at reclaiming its VWAP here as well. Thanks, Clint. Yeah, we're just having to be patient here today. Okay, so it's going to try and have a go at reclaiming some of these levels soon. Remember, volume is based up at 21,873. Might as well call it 75. All right, so buyers above that are trapped right now. So anyone who bought above the initial balance, remember we've had a rotation from the IB almost to VWAP. We didn't make it yet. It can still go there. ES, did ES make it? Why is this on the wrong chart? Here we go. ES didn't quite make it either. ES didn't make it either. SPY did. So there's still a chance for a full rotation. So still building liquidity. If we start to taper, remember we've been trend. If we start to taper, we know buyers stepped in here earlier. Ideally, I would like a sweep of this before thinking about upside. Once we sweep down here, this is where shorts come and chase the market. If we then trade upside and reclaim, then I think we come and take all these guys out, this guy here, and we use it as liquidity to drive higher. That is the trade I'll be looking for this afternoon. That is the trade I'll be looking for. If that doesn't set up, so be it. Here's a reclaim. So squeeze is potentially on here. All right, squeeze is potentially on. It's not surprising it's doing this into the new hourly bar here. Would have been much better if we did it after the hourly bar. But we're coming back to back test the volume. All right, we're back testing this volume right here. Right here. This is most volume on the day, right here. Reclaim this, we can go upside. Remember, it's trying to build out a flag here. We wanted that inverted head and shoulders look, didn't we? We wanted a bigger flush point. That would have been really nice. This is what we've been talking about all bloody day. Not in a rush to get long yet. New hourly transition coming. Gary, I've saved you lots of money. Happy days, mate. Rob P, first time I've seen your stream. It's nice. I can see you've changed that. Nice to see that you haven't chased or even made a trade. Good luck getting to 1K or 100K subs. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it. Everyone new on stream, I'm here every single day from pre-market. We do top-down analysis. I give you my thesis on what I'm looking for. And if it sets up, we get it all together. Most times we get 2 or 3 trades together on stream. We've got a very, very high success rate here. Crawford, what do you think your time frame is to those done on NT? I don't know, mate. I really don't know. Hopefully soon, because it's frustrating. Hopefully soon. Zaki Vim, what's your max size per trade? It really depends what I'm trading. Right, 150 accounts. I don't mind getting up to 3 contracts, right, if I'm feeling very, very good. But I'm not entering with 3. I'm entering with 1 on 150K. And I'm scaling into a winner once it proves itself in trend. When I'm trading 50Ks, I'm trading 2 or 3 micros. And I'm scaling up to a maximum of like 9 to 12. Again, if it's proving itself to be a winner, I'm not scaling in on a DCA. I'm adding into winners. Yeah, exactly, Tyson. I don't know if you just joined. We were talking about that this morning. Lots of people having rhythmic issues this morning. And it's across multiple firms. So it's nothing to do with Apex, nothing to do with Bullnox. This is a rhythmic issue. So don't go nuts at your broker or whatever you're using. It is a rhythmic problem. So I'm risking 30% or more per trade. How am I risking 30%? Your risk is based on your stop, not on your size. Yes, that's it, Jay Mooney. Gotcha. Well, drawdown on but depends on what firm you're trading, Zaki. Some of them are 7.5K, some of them are 5K. Obviously, once you get through the threshold, your drawdown is however much you're up plus that. So at some point, you might have 20, 30K drawdown. So squeeze is on here. NQ, relative strength, looking good. It's trading upside here. You have transitioned into a new hourly candle. You are through volume. You're right into that volume and you're trading through it right now. So you look good for squeeze here. Look at the buy signal starting to step in. Reclaim of initial balance can send you higher. Come and clear out these stops here. Once you take those out, you can scream higher. It's unfortunate that they're going to do this over lunch. I can't think of a worse time for them to set this up. You've got 1 minute until that new hourly candle. So really, you'd want to see pullbacks hold this level now. You don't want failure into IB. You want pullbacks to hold here, then do this, and then go and start trading upside. Remember, you're looking for this to be an H1 flag, basically, for upside. Hello, Rhythmic has experienced disruptions from users. The technical outage has nothing to do with Bullnox. Instead, it's affected all prop companies. Yeah, this is what I said it would be. As soon as you all said you were trading with different people, I knew that was going to be the case. However, Rhythmic is aware of the issue and are working to resolve it promptly. We appreciate your understanding in this matter for any inconvenience caused. So you guys will be fine, right? You got anyone who's lost money or had an issue, you guys will be reimbursed. They will just reset it because Rhythmic has already taken that responsibility. And once they take that responsibility, then the prop firms will look after you. So don't Don't stress out, right? If you've lost money today, don't be panicking. They will make it whole. Right, so this back test here in this new hourly candle needs to hold. You can think about what this hourly candle looks like. They will need to hold this back test. A trap now would be underneath that last hourly low at 37. So a trap here, an hourly trap would be down here and do this. Really, you just want this to hold for a grind high. You are into lunch. This is like the least ideal time for them to be setting this up, which is probably exactly why they're setting this up here. Again, NQ relative strength. SPY hanging out just above VWAP, not showing that big drive upside yet on the SPY. Live prop firm trading, it's been all right. It's been all right. It's didn't give me the entry long I wanted this morning, so pretty much been flat all bloody day. Again, Zaki, it depends on the structure. There's no like, oh, I'm risking 10 points of a trade. If I need to risk 50 points for a trade, I risk 50 points for a trade and I size accordingly for that. My risk is based on structure, all right? It's not a fixed risk. If you are doing fixed risks, you are going to get stopped out all the time because the market does not care about how many points you risk. It cares about the swing points in front of you. Data feed on TradingVate from Take Profit Trader, TraderVate is coming in 30 minutes behind from TraderVate. Now you're putting me off taking anything. Now you're putting me off taking anything at all, because if TraderVate also has issues, that's now starting to sound like it's a CME issue, to be honest, which is weird. Very weird. Yes, Saki, and like I said, if I'm risking 50 points, I don't size up. I would size down. I might move to micros, for example. Right? You risk based on swing points. SPY back to its VWAP. Remember, NQ, if it cannot hold these levels it broke out from, it might do that hourly trap under here. If it shows weakness, it will keep rolling over. I'm watching this hourly candle. That hourly candle got stuck right into POC. This is key level coming up here, really. SPY looking much, much weaker. It looks like it's going to potentially build out quite a big bear flag and a rotation. If ES lets go of that low into 79, I expect it to roll it definitely into 77. If it lets go of VWAP, we're going to be thinking about a full rotation to the IB low. Otherwise, we're thinking about that hourly trap for a move higher. Those are the two things. Zaki, your maths is terrible, mate. I don't know why you keep saying that. 33% trade on 150K, 3 trades lose your account. You don't know how big my stop loss is. So why are you saying that? Why are you even saying that? You've got no idea what you're talking about right now. You're talking absolute nonsense. I will size into a trade based on structure. My stop loss will be based on that structure. Again, I'll repeat. If I have to risk 50 points, I would size down to micros. I will add into a winner if I'm comfortably in the money in a trend based on swing points, buying dips. What can you not understand there? I don't understand this. Jesus. Madness. If you're using a fixed stop of 5 and 10 points, you'll lose every bloody time because the market doesn't care. It does not care about your stops. Oh, I know. You're a flipping moron and you don't need to be here. There's no gambling here, mate. I can't believe it. You've literally been here for 2 minutes. I can already tell. See you later. Bye. Gambling. I haven't taken a trade all day for that reason. See you later, mate. He's probably added and added and added all morning here and blown up and then added and added and added and blown up. So it's on you there, buddy. So do dips hold here? This is the question. We're looking at hourly transition. Remember, stops are under here right now. Buyers' stops are under here. An hourly trap would be a sweep of this and a reclaim. If that stays heavy, then we might get a rotation. Anchor VWAP here, VWAP here, New York Open, IB all down here. SPY much, much weaker on the day. Much, much weaker on the day. You have relative strength in the market, in the Qs. Tech very, very strong today. Yeah, I don't. That's yeah. I mean, I know you guys are right, but that's why he's gone. I can't understand it. I can tell he's a noob trader when they even say things like that. Like when they can't listen and they just talk, you've got no chance, mate. You've got no chance. So ES starting to break down here. It's looking to sweep that low, the lows it's put in for the last, I don't know, half an hour or so, and for a trade back into VWAP here on the ES. That's what looks like the ES wants to do. Do I ever use initial balance as support resistance? Yeah, I do, and that's why I was saying it would need to reclaim that. The problem is my bias was upside, so I didn't want to take the counter trend short. So my bias was obviously wrong. I was thinking that this might be enough for upside, but the reason I didn't take the long was also the hourly transition. I want to wait for the hour, which is what we got. So the failure was right into the new hour. So we closed the old hour here and we opened and trade down. So the wick on that old hour is here now. If you think about that H1, so H1 can trap here or it can expand underneath. Show you what I mean. That transition, look at this H1. All right, look where we closed. Right into the IB, right here, and then we open and pull back. This is the H1 trap area, right? If it needs to wick this first, which I think ES is about to do. So again, ES is being a bit of a nicer trader today. Yes, very close to that full rotation now. So into VWAP coming here on the ES. If it lets go of that and it trades back down towards those low of days, which will give you a trade into the IB low. So your rotation from VWAP to IB low is possible. If it soaks VWAP, your rotation back towards IB high is possible. Much, much weaker on the day. It's a much easier index to be shorting. All right, it produced a really nice lower high by comparison. Look at the ES. Oh, wrong chart. Where have I just gone wrong with that? This one. Okay, much, much nicer all day. All right, longs, pullback longs, breakout, pullback longs, breakout, pullback longs. Tried to base to create the flag, failed. Shorts, pullback, shorts, shorts. Much, much nicer trade. Much, much nicer trader today. So watching these H1 lows now, are we going to get really, really heavy here? ES through VWAP already, trading back to its 5-day now. These are the trap levels coming up on the Qs. Remember, most of the buyer stops are down here. The anchors here, most of the buyer stops are down here. How we act down here is key. If we stay heavy, we go full rotation. If we absorb, then we do the trap. But so far, breakout buyers who trade that flag before the hourly transition are getting stuck. Why I was waiting for the hourly transition. Really, I shouldn't even be considering a trade here now we're into lunch, but I'm going to watch this in case volume starts to step in, which we've seen here. So if you look at the last hour, we've now come underneath that hourly wick low, which is right here, which is where we're at now. So any big pullback underneath that and then absorption back through it can be an hourly trap. Yeah, Crawford, I wouldn't necessarily do that. It's good to have an ATM, right, which puts your stops and your take profit in, but then you need to be moving that stop based on the structure in front of you. Yeah. Well, that's right then, Crawford. If he helped you understand for your stuff, then it was worthwhile then, wasn't it? So breaking down, here's your anchor view up off the 930 low print. This light blue line is your anchor view up off the open. If we're starting to wash here, one of you just said Trump is talking. Is that right? I haven't seen anything hit my wire down here, but I haven't seen it all day, interestingly. Let's have a look. I haven't seen anything. All right, so finally that playing out. It's a bit annoying, isn't it? Would have been nice if we had some of these earlier in the day. This was like this play here would have been nice. So sweeping out this hourly level. No reason to be thinking long yet in this. It will be obvious if it does trap. Yeah, SS, I agree. I totally agree. We've got divergence in the market today. But you have got VIX starting to uptick, right, towards 1622. So it's putting pressure on the SPY right now. SPY right down to its 5-day moving average. It's heavy right here. Volume stepping in. Look at the volume stepping in. Good sell volume stepping in here. Back towards previous day open. This white line is Friday's open. Remember, if we fail these areas here where buyers were, we come back to VWAP. That would be a full rotation, IB to VWAP. We've already rotated to anchored VWAP. This is always a high probability trade. The problem with this was the time. It's the time of day it's set up. Remember, if we get very heavy today, we talked about it earlier, these guys are primed to get taken out. If we get heavy under here, this is not very hard to go and take these guys out. I still have upside biased in the market generally. If it can show me a reason of reclaiming, we can get rid of this now. Still think we've got unfinished business upside in this market. Grab that on the flow zone indicator trend break. Huge move. Nice. Nice, nice. So watch this H1 level into 36s, I would say. Somewhere around here. How we act here is key. Because if this is a failure underneath and we reclaim this H1, then we have shorts in here and shorts all in here and shorts in here to attack. If they fail this, right, then the H1 wants expansion. So understanding your higher time frame narrative, what does the H1 want to do? Liquidity now down at 800. Let's sit here with you for a little bit longer, just in case something really, really sweet sets up. But I've got to feel timing's been a little off today. Yeah, they did. They took the break. And like I said, the only reason I didn't want to take this was the time of the hourly transition. So I knew that hourly candle was going to be absolutely key. QQQ on its VWAP right here, right now. So cash traders in the ETFs for the QQQ, you are right at VWAP right here, right now. If they find a bid here, that's what it's off. Watching that hourly candle, watching the hourly transition. This would be much better if it wasn't over lunch thinking about any of this stuff. If they're going to trap underneath here and start absorbing upside, it's where traders who have traded the breakdown short on the hourly will get trapped. If we hold these levels, if we hold against 37s, we can get expansion lower. So this in here is a key level, regardless of what's happened above. On the H1, this right here is key. We either do this or we do this all the way back up. It's very, very key level on the H1. Now we've swept out these guys here. Remember I said when we're up here, we should come and sweep these guys out. And from this point, I'll be thinking about this move. It's a shame they did this, but hey, can see what we get. Nothing to do yet. There's absolutely nothing for me to do yet. In trend down right now. Your lower time frame is trending down. Look at the flow zones. They're trying to flip. Got momentum clouds underneath the deep pullback clouds for the first time today. All right, so short time frame, 1 minute momentum is definitely saying downside expansion right now. ES is so weak underneath its VWAP and wants to come and take out its initial balance low. Some people are saying rhythmic is up. Just be careful. Be careful. Hey, Candy Cane. How's it going? So you're right on PDC. QQQ is right on its VWAP. You're in downside momentum here. If this wants to trade lower to VWAP, it can. If the ES wants to go and re-attack its initial balance low, it can also do that. All right, you had a failed auction on the ES above the IB high. We have lots of liquidity from overnight. If this is going to remain weak in the day and there's going to do an IB expansion, we can go and attack all those traders who traded London and Asia. Because remember, every session today is printed upside. Sorry, one of my students just messaging me, worried about rhythmic. Just letting him know he's not alone and it would be okay. So frustrating when you have those issues. I'm really sorry, team. It's horrible, isn't it, when you have no control? But don't worry, it's clearly a worldwide issue with rhythmic today. So don't worry, you'll get reimbursed. It's not just with Apex or whoever. It's with every firm. It's a rhythmic issue. It will be sorted out. They always sort it out. Always sort it out. So stuck here at the anchored VWAP. All right here. This is off the New York Open. This blue line is off the New York Open. H1 level is key above it. If we start trading through there, there is a squeeze potential to upside. ES coming to back test its normal session VWAP right now and see if sellers stay there. If there are no sellers there, there is squeeze potential upside, like I said. And then we can get back into a bullish trend. Remember, we're rebalancing an hourly candle here. Going back towards that old hourly low. 36-ish is kind of key. Using Traderfy, no issues. Traderfy don't use rhythmic though, do they? I think Traderfy is just with Tradeovate. So completely different data provider. So watching to see this. I really should be gone here, but there's an interesting setup here at lunch. ES starts to reclaim VWAP, and if the Q start to reclaim the H1 level, I think there is potential upside. Yeah, Traderfy is the best, man. I absolutely love Traderfy. So lower still protecting these hourly lows. Right, that previous hour low still protecting. potential bear flag building out here. If we get that rotation into here, if we reclaim, this is the move back higher. This is building out that liquidity in lunch. Volume is actually pretty good here for lunchtime. So they seem to be actively participating in this right now, interestingly. Just got a voice note this guy because he's worried. One sec. Mr. Slim, my rhythmic came back and I'm up 700 on eval. Yeah, if you're green, they won't take your prop. Normally what happens, that's what he just asked me. Normally what happens is if you are green, they will leave your profits in green. If you are red, normally what happens is they will reset to the price that you had either before the outage went down or the close of Friday or the beginning of today, basically. That's normally what happens. All right. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you exactly what will happen because I am not a prop firm. But in my experience, that is normally what happens. If you're red, they reset to the beginning of the session or whatever your balance was before the outage. If you're green, they will normally let you keep the green. So if you're green, just lock out and hopefully they'll let you keep it, you know? And if you're red, don't panic. Definitely don't do one thing I did in the past where I got really annoyed with them and I deleted the accounts because I couldn't get a response. Don't hit any tilt or anything like that. I remember doing that a few years ago. All right, just give them 24 hours. You will get a response. I'm sure by the close of today, they will just roll everything back and then you just start again tomorrow. You just be chill. Definitely don't stress yourself out. All right, it's not worth it. Everything will be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. That's what you need to say to yourself. Yeah, exactly, Slim. They blow, they normally just reset it. All right, ES keeps trying to backtest its flow zones and VWAP here on the ES. So if it rejects VWAP, it's got a rotation all the way back to the initial balance low. If it reclaims, then it's got that inverted head and shoulder look on the ES again. ES looks like a much better trader today. Just in general, looks way nicer. Structure-wise, looks good. QQQ is on top of its VWAP, keeps finding some bids there for now. We have liquidity on the book down to 800, right, in case they did want to do a swipe. You still have that seller up at 900, a little bit less size, but 159 lot sat all the way up at 900 on the book right now. Okay, here's ES trying to trade through VWAP. Remember, the Qs are looking at that H1 level. If it trades through it, there is trap potential underneath where we get relief higher. All right, that is what is very possible. Here you go. So it's trying to give you that relief. It's coming into that H1 wick. If it trades through that H1 wick, it has squeeze potential. Yeah, straight through the VWAP there. It's good power through the VWAP. SPY's got a little way to go. So if they start reclaiming here, it has upside potential. Remember what we talked about on this here, right? H1 trap would be underneath this low. If it can reclaim this, it can come and take this out. It can still be a flag with a trap underneath. It can still be that. It can absolutely still be that. Worst thing right now is the time of day. If we weren't in lunch, I think I'd be having a stab at this, to be honest. Andrew G, love your channel, which I just found yesterday. Very informative and straightforward. I'm a new trader at 3 months, not consistently profitable yet. Dude, you're going to be fine. If you're brand new at 3 months and you found me now, not to blow my trumpet, but you will just stick with this channel. All right. I will keep you out of mess. Just take your time, size down, take your time, learn the basics, learn structure, focus on the higher time frames, right? Learn the structure, focus on the higher time frames, understand liquidity and traps, and you're going to be all right. I always think traders, I know this is going to probably upset a lot of people, but people with less experience are easier to teach. When you've been in rooms which will teach you bad habits die hard. It's so hard to shift bad habits. And so I'm talking from experience. I had a bad habit. I was in a room which would add, and this wasn't on the NQ, this was on small caps, add and 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 add on the short side while something was moving up until it blew up, right? And I had to shift that bad habit. It's why I preach to you all the time, don't pick tops and bottoms, right? It's because I've been that person, right? I've experienced what max pain is multiple times with bad habits, not being able to shift my thesis, being too fixed in my thesis. We're trading right into that H1 wick here. These are key levels here. Key levels. If we trade through that H1 wick, we can reprice. Honestly, we can get going in an H1 trade higher for expansion. If we keep failing here, there is potential for lower prices. Feels like it wants to try and move higher here through the H1. It feels like there's a possible H1 trap here, like I was talking about. This is everything we were talking about, right? If it can reclaim this, this can be your H1 trap. If it can do this, especially if flow zones start to support action over here, the hardest thing is time of day. But if it can do this, it's got shorts here and shorts here. And if it rolls them out of the market, it can attack up here. If it keeps rejecting this H1 wick, right? If it keeps rejecting this and it builds a bear flag, we come back to view up, we reject that. We come back to IB low, we reject that. There is a ton of liquidity down here to come and take. I don't know which one it wants to do first today. All right, this is markets being a little bit tricky in how it's setting up on a Monday. But whatever it does today, it will leave the opposite for tomorrow and definitely Wednesday, Thursday. My preference before the open yesterday would have been a sell in the market Monday, Tuesday, a cool CPI print and a print higher Wednesday, Thursday, Friday continuation, right, for new all-time highs. Right now, I don't know. I really don't know what the market wants to do right now. Let's go up here. After about 5 attempts, I finally passed my first combine with take profit trader. Nice, Andrew. Nice. Just take your time with it. Don't oversize. Take your time with it. Pop at anchor view up on the low after London. After London. Are you talking about that move at 6 a.m.? Or are you talking about the pivot at like 7:30? Yeah, all right, I see that. Just traded straight into it. It's the 6 a.m. candle, that wick low. Jay Mooney, facts. Too much gambling on other channels with lots of followers. Yeah, absolutely. Tyson says, bro, stick with Alex, do the course. You're better off if you don't have to break bad habits later. Absolutely agree, Tyson. Breaking bad habits is tough, as we all know. Everyone here, very, very kind. Steve C, exactly. Stay with Alex. You'll do well. I've been struggling for about a year, but Alex is helping me be better and more consistent. SS, I've been trading 10 years and still not consistent. Well, you need to ask yourself, do you have a strategy? Where are you going wrong? 10 years is a long time. So do you have a strategy? Do you have a setup? Do you know what you're looking for each and every day? And once you've got that and you back test it and forward test it, things should get easier. Thanks, everyone. Very kind, all of you. Very, very kind. All right, so ES bouncing around here. It's put in its pivot low, and it's trying to put in like a very, very short-term higher low here around the VWAP. How it acts here is very, very important. The NQ, make sure I'm on the right chart for you, still building out liquidity. It can still swipe. Okay, it can still swipe. Remember, it needs to reclaim this. The long trigger will be reclaims of this level here. That. Otherwise, the rotation that we keep talking about. Again, the worst thing right now is the time. Why didn't I take this long? Time of day. Why didn't I take this short? Time of day. Otherwise, I probably would have taken both of these trades, to be honest. The volume, it's weird that the volume's picking up over lunch. Look at this through the session. A volume picking up over lunch. Other than the open, okay, once we get past 10, we start to taper off, and now we've had a little increase. ES might have put in its first little higher low, right? No structure change, but it might have tried to put in that higher low versus 76. You might as well call it 75. If ES protects that, then I'm more and more inclined to think that that H1 trap is potential for that squeeze higher for the rest of the day. I should really get off here. Overstaying my welcome here. Can see why I always say I'm focused on the H1. The H1 for me is pivotal in intraday sessions. Right? It's absolutely pivotal in intraday sessions. A pretty tight range today. You know, we're still in the initial balance, which was only like 129 points and what's that? 129 and a half points. H1 looks bearish. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the opposite. I think the H1 looks bullish. I think we've just trapped underneath that wick and we want to drift higher. I think the H1, right? I think we trapped down shorts down here in the gap down. We reclaimed. We bid up. We left an imbalance here. Here's your H1 wick. I think we're going to try and build out a flag and try and do this. Now, the question is, can it do it today or not? Once we get through these highs, we should get to this high. Once we get through that, we should use this. Remember, 2 stops here. So 970s is an easy target. That's a low-hanging fruit. We get through that. We trade through 22K, and then we're at all-time highs. So I think the H1 looks pretty bullish. Right? As long as it's holding this imbalance, reclaims this wick low higher. We start letting go of this, that's a whole different ball game. Right? If we let go of this, that's a different ball game. Underneath value area low, rotation back to here. But right now, I'd say it looks very, very bearish. It's about to do that move. It's about to do the move over lunch. Hardest thing now is structure that we're looking at. It's the hardest thing, and the time. It wants to do that trap and a rip higher and a trade into 870s. And through 870s, you get expansion. That's my belief. It's what it wants to do. If it can get through this wick and start to cause pain. Yeah, exactly. Last H1 bar was an inside bar, and then we've gone under it and back into it. So remember how most traders don't trade how I teach, right? So most traders who are short here in the hole, and they're about to get squeezed. All right, they're short the hole underneath the H1, and they're about to potentially get squeezed. And then if we squeeze, we go back IB high, we go point of control, and we come and take these out. The problem is the time of day. If this was later in the day, I would feel much, much better about thinking about taking long. Here you go. Here you go. Some smart guy understands traps. If you got this, like, good for you. Like, good for you. It's just understanding the relationship between higher time frame and the H1. It has to hold these gains up here. It's point of control here right now. The H1 point of control is 50s, basically 49. And if we get through that 70s, it's a big, big, big level around here. All right. If they can hold these gains here, this becomes more and more and more probable. This squeeze up here becomes more and more probable. For me, I'd say it looks good. Honestly, I'd say it looks good for a run. Not trying to tell you what to do. It's early. The flow zones haven't flipped yet. But the fact that we back-tested PDC, that ES has reclaimed VWAP, that we swept these people out. We were talking about this all day. Remember, all the time up here, I was saying, I want a move down here, take these guys out, and then a pivot back up. Been saying it all day. Literally, from the moment we were up here, I was talking about this move here that I want. The problem is lunchtime. For me, that's the big problem. But it's probably going to do it. There you go, team. There you go. Tyson took it. No, this thing's going to go. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Shorts are flipping cooked in this. They are cooked. Nice, Tyson. If you get the EMAs to support, you've got another, like, do you know what? I'm going to stay with you until this new hourly bar. So what's that? It's not that long. But to do that, you've got to let me go and get some food because I'm starving. So I'll be back in a minute. Oh, there it goes. Keep squeezing. It keeps squeezing. I did several trades this morning to now. I've been green on each trade. I follow Frozone Trader, bull and bearish flag on his videos. I want to thank you for your future trading videos. You're welcome, man. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, so answer me this, team. All right. To move higher when we're near all-time highs, who do we need in the market? How do we move higher? Because smart money is not buying the higher day. So how do we move higher? Everyone answer me that. Exactly. Exactly, Coop. And where do traps live? Traps live under swings. What is this here? A swing. What was this here? A swing. Here's your H1 swing. Here's your early morning swing. So breakout shorts are entering here. Breakout shorts, breakout shorts. I know it's hard to believe, but they are taking breakout shorts down here. Once we reclaim these levels, these breakout shorts get forced to cover, which is a market buy. Then we go back to here. Then the shorts who were playing up here earlier in the day are forced to cover, and we go higher, right? So that's what the market wants to do now. It is now a question of liquidity because we're in lunch. Are enough shorts trapped for this to move higher? If we get an occasion where it turns out there's too many buyers trapped up here, then this will become supply and we can come and back test further down. But this move here feels probable, and then it's holding runners to see if it will do that. If it firms up, you can add into it. If it firms up, I wouldn't be adding into it around here. If it firms up here, I'd be adding into it for that expansion move. Yeah, Chris got it. Late shorts that are trapped. Late shorts that are trapped. That's exactly it. To move higher, you need trap shorts. To move lower, you need trap buyers. Think about who's trapped in the market and where they're going to be trapped. It will make your life much easier. We're through point of control now. This thing's going to go. I'm telling you all day what it wants to do. I've been calling this move out all day, all morning for at least 2 hours. Yeah, exactly, Coop. Yeah, they're really nice as long as you're the right side of it. It's the worst when you're the wrong side of it. It is the worst. Right, and look how easy it was on the ETF. If you're trading QQQ today, we just came right into the cash money ETF and bounced. Right, never let go of the VWAP on the ETF. Yeah. This is why I watch ETFs. Bang. Soak off the ETF VWAP. Nice and easy. Squeeze is on, boys and girls. The squeeze is on. Look at the buy signal where it's come in. We've reclaimed that H1 level I talked about. Flow zones are starting to turn now. Flow zones not starting to get above. So you want absorption to happen here. This is really, it must absorb in this block. You want absorption here and towards 40. Can keep drifting higher, but as long as a pullback holds that, you are good. You are good for upside squeeze. That's the H1 pain point trigger. If it lets go of that, I'd be hands off. All right, because that would indicate to me that there are too many buyers stuck overhead if it does that. But so far, you look very, very good for more upside. Is the white pullback where you add? What do you mean white pullback? Sorry, mate. Oh, you mean? Do you mean the signal when it says pullback? I don't add on a white candle necessarily. I'd wait for structure. So same thing all the time, right? You'd be looking for a flag, or you'd be looking for a 2-leg and a reclaim, and then long here, risking that, looking for a rotation through here, partial, partial, partial. Yeah, so don't just buy a white candle because you don't know if that white candle comes all the way down here. All right, so where's your RBS level? Resistance becomes support, right? So this here is a H1 and a lower time frame pivot. So you need this to hold, RBS. You don't want it to come underneath this. This is not ideal down here. You want it to hold this. And ideally, it comes back to there and it offers you a cheap buy and it puts in a bullish structure. You don't just leave a limit here though, because if you leave a limit here and it slams through, you're going to be upset. You let it come back and form something and prove to you that it's giving you a reason to get long. Let the market prove to you all the time. Sorry if this is loud, team. I'm normally not here at this time, but thought I'd stay with you today. A bit longer, another 13 minutes, and then I'll get out. All right, so the next hourly transition. Remember, we like the hourly transition candles. They're important. Here's the pullback now. And you have to ask yourself, is this going to hold? Does it hold? Does it put in a W, a flag, something? Right? Because we're fighting against this. Right, so it's potential to come down into this. We don't want that though. We want this to hold for this squeeze because our belief is that this here is where sellers are trapped. If it lets go of this, that thesis goes out the window. And this will just be a lower time frame squeeze. The only problem with this, like I said, it's lunch. If you had higher time frame traders at their desk right now, this becomes more and more likely. But so far, there's your RBS level starting to try and hold, isn't it? It's trying to hold it. It's trying to hold it. Something like that. That's where you're at. Any questions, team, before I get out of here? Any questions? Those of you who've had issues today on Rhythmic, sorry to hear about that. Do not panic. Do not go cancelling your accounts or anything like that. Just relax. It will be fine. So your RBS is holding. This is what you want to see. This is what you want to see. Doom, 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 doom all day long now. You want to see those sellers get pain point. Serves kills. I just have some very, very strict rules, and one of them is I don't trade lunch. Yeah, so it doesn't mean you have to have the same rules as me, but I don't trade lunch. I don't trade lunch well. If I trade afternoon, it's after the new 4-hour candle is put in at 2 o'clock. And I also don't trade that well, to be honest. There you go. Apex acknowledging the issues. I'm sure they're going to fix it. Yeah, so be same for everyone. Don't panic out. Yeah, so the main reason serve kills is I don't like lunch. I don't like the liquidity over lunch. I think a lot of the times trades are more likely to fail over lunch than normally because you've got less people at their desk actively trading that session. I would have a guess that if this had happened an hour ago or 2 hours ago, we'd already be up here right now. Yeah. That's what I'd say. I think we'd already be ripping new highs right now in this market. That's the only reason. It's not that I don't think it can go higher. It's just some rules. But yeah, I don't love lunch. I don't love the first hour after it either. I think there's normally a bit of a shakeout in that hour. It's just not my vibe, man. Doesn't mean you have to do the same. Does not mean you have to do the same. Like you see, like everything I've called in is working very, very nicely. Looks very, very good for more upside. Look at the ES. It looks like it's building like that inverted head and shoulder look on the ES, which is what you want to see. And then you can go and raid the stops at 6,085.75, 6,086.75. Through that, we go to initial balance, and then we look for highs. Is it a range or a level? 21,835. 835. What are you talking about? I'm not following what you mean. This is basically, you want to, this needs to hold, this level here needs to hold for upside swing potential for the rest of the day. So if your bias is to come and take these out and expand higher, this needs to hold. I'd say if this fails, you've got to be very aware about a leg down. Right? This is a very, very key level. This right here. You know it from here, here, and here. It's a key level today. Clint Bait, am I saying you're, how, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Hopefully I'm saying it right. Apologies if I'm not. Clint Bait or Clint Batty, Beatty, I'm not sure. Impressed with what I'm calling out. Yeah, it's just experience, mate. It's the same market every single day. We look for the same patterns every single day. I'm always looking for the same kind of traps every day, especially if my bias is higher. There's a reason I was saying I'm not willing to be a buyer up here. I want to be a buyer down here. Unfortunately, the time of day is just not ideal. I know my stats. I really know my stats well. I also know Monday is one of my least profitable days. Bat like the animal. Clint Bat. Okay, I'll remember that for next time I see you on stream. So upside still looks good here, team. I think you look really good. I think the ES looks like, oh, we're done there. Sorry, guys. And the ES looks good for a raid as well. ES about to go and raid all those stops up there. So this looks good for a squeeze continuation higher. Every level holding, you just look fantastic here. You look fantastic. ES getting very close to those stops. So you want to see ES just go and pop all those stops. So what did we say? 85.50 and then 86.75. Here it goes. There's 85.25 on the book right now. 85.50 here. So it should just squeeze through this and go straight upside on the ES. You don't want to see sellers come back in here. They don't want to reload it. You want to see this just pop straight through and then trade up towards that next level that we talked about. Next stop level would be 87, and then you're really looking at the initial balance. Fantastic. Look at that RBS level hold. Look at that. Look at this thing. What a beast. Honestly, I think you can really hold this now. I think shorts are in big problems here. Big problems. We're through all the volume. You're above all the point of controls. Right? You're above all the point of controls now. Here is your flag. What is the target? Right, we've still got that seller at 900. We take that seller out at 900. You're looking for expansion into this H1 level of 970. You get through that, That would be a double top high on the daily. We get through 970. Okay, we can think about a move through to 22,000 and above. You look very, very good. Just make sure if you've taken this, move your stop up a little bit. Make sure you're going to look something in. All right, because if you took this, I don't know where you took it from. If you took it here, or if you waited for this. All right, this is 20 points. We're looking for rotation higher and higher and higher. RBS, resistance becomes support. All right, it's a Malaysian S&R. It's a big part of how I trade is Malaysian S&R. Resistance becomes support. Fantastic squeeze here. So you're through that next level right now on ES. You're through that sort of 86.75. You just wicked it out. So it needs to hold gains here. Really, you want ES to hold around the 85-ish for a continuation higher. Yeah, nice, Tyson. Good work, everyone. Hopefully lots of you. I told you, eventually we get a nice trade here together. We just had to wait. We had to wait for it. I told you it will come. I told you the level I was looking at. Go back and rewind this. If you've just joined us, go back and rewind. All the time we were up here, I was saying I'm waiting for a sweep of this and then thinking about getting long, especially once the H1 low is here. It made it even better for this move. ES taking out some key levels of liquidity now. So like we said, ES will need to hold basically the same level, same RBS level, 85. Right, so if ES holds 85 here on the pullback, maybe 84 is better, somewhere around there. What you don't want is a drift below 80, right? You really want it to hold this inverted head and shoulders here. And then really you should be going back to highs of day. So it's very, 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 very good. Hopefully, no, I'm not going to be horrible. Don't be a nice guy. Going to say something horrible about the guy that came in chat talking crap earlier, but I'm not. I'm not. I hope he's having a good day. Maybe next time he comes here, he'll be willing to learn with a bit more patience. Took it one runner left at this point. Both of you, BU and Tyson, both in it with one runner left. Love it. Love it, guys. Love it. Be kind, Alex. Be a nice person. All right. 2 minutes left. Remember, you got a new H1 bar coming, so expect some movements in the next few minutes while we place that H1 bar. So what does this H1 bar look like now? What do we talk about? The trap on the H1 will be underneath this, in this imbalance for a flag and move upside. Right? And we talked about this when we were still in this bar. That's why understanding transitions of bars is important. When people say, it really annoys me, but I'm going to say it, that all the people that are like, the macro, it's not macro. There's no macro, right? It's not an algo and macro. It's institutions trading higher time frames. That's all it is. That's all it is. Institutions trading higher time frames. Institutions don't give two shits about the 1 minute or 30-second or anything like that. They are watching hourly bars. They're watching higher time frame hourly bars. The continuation here, you look good. ES getting pretty close to that initial balance high, as is the NQ. You're looking good here. $30 seconds until a new H1 bar here. Remember, you got the main sellers are up at 900. He wants to get filled. Mr. or Mrs., whoever it is, up at 900 with 165 lot. That is some serious size on the tape. They've been there all day. They are looking to get filled up there. That's where the market wants to go. And through that, like we talked about, there's plenty of levels above that it can go and chew for. That double top on the daily looks very, very nice. Whether we go for it today or tomorrow, it looks nice to be taken. Just make sure you've paid yourself something. New H1 bar here. You have to observe the last H1 bar now. So remember the last two previous H1 bars, the key level is 71. Right, 71 is the key level on that last two H1 bars. And we're pretty steep here. This is a pretty good pump off the trap here. Pull back, might need to pull back again. Right, if it needs to retrap, it's going to have to come down there again. Right, so make sure you're giving yourself some money. Hopefully it just keeps floating up for you for the remainder of the day. I'm going to call it there, folks. Give you an extra hour today. Hopefully it helps some of you lock in some more profits, learn what I'm looking for, understand what we look for on this channel, understand why I'm so patient in the mornings, why if there's no setup coming, I'm not going to chase it, because I know it will give the setup at some point, right? I know it's going to set up at some point. You have to get to the point as a trader where you're willing to wait, all right? We had to wait through all this crap, right? All of this, and at this point, I was like, there's going to be a long setting up, and then we get it, all right? And now you might get it all day. You might be able to hold this all day. I'm not even joking. You might be able to hold this all day into close. It can just keep going and going and going and going now that shorts are stuck, all right? So if you take anything from this stream, be patient and wait for the setup. Don't preempt the setup, just wait for it. I will be back 9:15, 9:20 tomorrow morning, and we'll go over everything. And let's see what we get. Depending where we close today will depend what I think we have potential for tomorrow. You know, the Bollinger Bands on the daily are starting to like flatten out a little bit. So there is squeeze potential. If we're going to go upside, it could get really, really fun. And I'll see everyone then. And just go through chat before I leave, make sure everyone's all right. Yeah, thanks for joining, everyone. Thanks, TR, J Mooney, SS, Kathy Floor, Coop, Clint Bat, Marek, Vince, Baseman, Jesse M, Minix, BU, Rob P. Thank you, Rob P. Very kind of you. Steve C. Omalu Bar 1. Hope I said that right. Vopper. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. If you're in this long, hold the runners. Make sure your stop's in the money. Don't be giving it back. All right. If it needs to retrap, it will retrap. If it relaxed liquidity, it will have to retrap. Right now, I think you look good. And I'll see you tomorrow. Everyone in Discord, I'll be back there in a bit. I'm going to take my dog out for another walk because it's now been, 5 hours already. And we'll speak in the afternoon. Take care. Anyone who's new to the stream, if you want to do the course, all right, it's a one-time fee down below. You get the course. Sorry, I never plug it. I'm not a very good salesman. You get the course, 20 hours on demand. You get the flow zone indicators, all right, this indicator right here. And you get my Discord, all for a one-time fee. Until next time, be nice to each other. All right, trade safe. Please use hard stops. This is the last thing I'm going to say. I say it every time. Use hard stops. If you don't use hard stops in this market, you are asking to get punished. Use hard stops. They can say anything at any moment, and they have done all the last few weeks. All right, you see 100-point flash crashes in seconds. Use hard stops. Be careful. See you tomorrow.